Good evening. Welcome to our 157th edition of our broadcast this evening here in the Issues Room. It's a pleasure having you, our viewers, wherever you are. We're hoping that you did receive our notification for this broadcast here tonight. So we want to invite you in a special way. We ask if you did, please let us know that you're here, that you received the notification that we're going live right now, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today is Tuesday, May 30th, 2023. We're here with our 157th broadcast. I'm Volcano Shelton saying thank you for joining us right now this evening. We're going to have an intense conversation. As you and I know, so many things happen in Liberia as we move toward our national elections. Ram Snodden, thank you. Thank you for letting us know you're here. Please let us know. We want the numbers to increase tonight. And if you can do us the favor, equally share the link, invite someone, follow us, like us, love us, however you want to put it. We are the Issues Room. The Issues Room is the alternative social media platform here on Facebook. We also broadcast on YouTube, on Twitter, and on LinkedIn. We encourage you to continue to be here with us. Uh, Join us, be a fan, be a follower, be someone we can count on. Viewership is important, irrespective of the numbers, but I think content does matter. And when it comes to what we do, the broadcast we present is coming from a balanced perspective. Now, you might rather have your subjective opinion about what you feel. By the end of the day, I think everything we're doing is for our country, Liberia, and all of us want to see good for that country. So there's no hard feelings here. We are not doing it to take anybody off or to say we're in a special camp or not. We've invited everyone, every political institution in Liberia, the heads, um, President Weir, the invitation is yours. Uh, Mr. Alexander Cummings, the invitation is yours. Mr. Tiawan Ganglo, the invitation is yours. You've been here, of course. The Ambassador Joe Boyka, who is also running, the invitation is yours, and you've been here before. Dr. Telford Ammons, the invitation is yours, and you've been here before. We're also looking forward to speaking with Dr. Clarence Momolu, rather Moniba. Sorry, I got the last name, but it's Dr. Clarence Moniba. We're looking forward to speaking with you. Mr. Simeon Freeman, all of you who are vying for the presidency, come here, let's talk. Share with us what your perspective is about Liberia now and where you will hope to take the country. So we encourage you. We encourage all of you, wherever you are, to be a part of the Issues Room. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we want to go now to Moses Sandy, who is in the Delaware studio. Moses, we're back here. Good evening. Welcome to the Issues Room. This is our 157th broadcast. Well, tonight we're going to have a good one.
Definitely, we are. Thank you, Volcano. It's always pleasing to be tonight. Like you said, we have come to put Liberia first. So I'm happy to be here. Always look forward to coming and joining my colleagues to discuss those contemporary issues that matter most. Thank
Thank
you
you.
again for the opportunity.
Thank you. Tonight we will be featuring Memory Lane by Dr. A. Manin Sumo, and the caption is Knowledge versus Ignorance.
Wow,
Knowledge
that's a good
versus
one.
ignorance. Leader or a spectator dilemma in Liberia. A leader or a spectator dilemma in Liberia. Knowledge versus ignorance. We also have what type of country is this? As you and I know, this is the humorous segment here in the Issues Room where we talk about the things that are particular to our country. And it's not in any way we've continued to put this disclaimer out to denigrate our country, but these things are just particular to the Liberian people, and we like to get a laugh out of it. And that's what it's about. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, Moses,
Yeah.
we had sent our flyer out and it talked about us featuring Prince Johnson. the now professed born again religious man, whether a pastor, an evangelist, a man of God, he proclaims, as he calls himself. But you and I know how Prince Johnson impacted the Liberian Civil War as one of the premier warlords who had a breakaway fashion from the National Patriotic Front of Liberia, and he became the independent National Patriotic Front of Liberia. He took another lane toward the capital, where he passed through another side of the country and came through Bushrod Island, where he settled, and the rest of his history. He ran the Bushrod Island. He masterminded the murder of former President Dr. Samuel Kayando. Um, according to stories, he killed a scores of Liberian, whether willfully, whether in the name of peace, whether in the name of war, whether those people were violating other people's human rights, and he took actions. But he's tied to the killings of a lot of people. Today, he's participating in Liberian politics after he took a break while living in exile in Nigeria. Once the floodgate was opened, he decided to return to the country and to participate in the country's politics. He continues to say he represents the people of Nema County. He fought for them. He protected them against the regime of Samuel Doe. Lately, he's been placed on sanction for, participation in, uh, I would call it
Pay
corruption.
to play, pay to
Yeah,
play.
that's what I'm saying, corruption and other things. Um, in fact, he was stripped of his position as the chairman
Yeah.
on
Defense.
defense from within the legislature. Recently, there's been noise around the country, and 2 Sundays ago, some young guys in the name of the NPP went by his church and were, singing and shouting war crime court, and they said that the guys disrupted the service. He threatened to come back the following Sunday with 500 men. I'm not sure if he brought the 500 men. However, this past Sunday, he did preach. Um, I wouldn't call it preach, actually. I would call it a lecture. All right. And so, all of these things, I wanted to just give us the historical background of Prince Johnson and where he is now. The other part that I didn't add, and I will add, his party, the MDR, the Movement for Democratic Reconstruction, standard bearer, who he had handpicked and put in the front, is now the vice running mate of Ambassador Joseph Boakai, who is the forerunner, the front man against the current leadership under President Weir. So a lot of people are frowning on that pick and that merger, and Prince is saying that he's highly influential. He is a kingmaker, and he's done it with Ellen 2 times, and he's done it with President
So
Weah, who is
yeah.
currently in power. He broke away because he said Weah did not live up to to his side of the promise when they merged for the 2017 elections. So, if you wanted to say anything before I go to the video, because it's kind of long a little bit and it covers a lot of stuff before we discuss it. The second
Yeah.
part of that is we also have to just a little bit talk about Charlyne Brumskine, the daughter of the late Councillor Charles Brumskine, who also was a presidential candidate who ran in the 2017 elections, but he's deceased, and his Liberty Party is in a split. So 2 camps here, and she is handpicked as the running mate to Alexander Cummings, who many people believe is the third in the race with regards to the standing. And we'll just look at what she brings as a young woman to ensure that that ticket is a winnable ticket. And then finally, we'll look at former CEO of the Spoon Network and the change she had with a counselor,
Yeah.
one Mr. Isaac Jackson.
Jackson.
And
Mhm.
that conversation went very heated, where Spoon kind of displayed text messages between the two where he had given him assistance. And what prompted that? Mr. Jackson, without even consciously Knowing that he was live, the world was listening, he accused Mr. Witherspoon of being a criminal, one who uh, is on the federal list and being investigated. And Mr. Spoon decided to hit back. So we'll talk about that and anything else as we always do.
Tonight is very loaded, and all of the topics that you touch are very, very critical. So I think this is a discussion that wherever you are, you don't want to miss this. You want to also invite your friends. Share the link, share the link, share the link. But I just want to say something quickly. As you were talking about Prince Johnson, Volcano, for people who are outside Nimba County, Prince Johnson is considered a demon. You know, people see him as the worst person, the man who reportedly committed all of the mayhems. But when you talk to Nimbayans, when you talk to people from Nimba, given the way citizens of that county were treated by the Samuel Kanyadu administration. Volcano, you and I live in Liberia. Then I was a young reporter at the Ministry of Information. Uh, I saw the mayhems. I saw the mayhems that were perpetrated by the Samuel Kanyadu administration against the people of Nimba. I saw what happened in 1990. I saw what happened in 1989 as a young reporter. I saw how people from that county were slaughtered in numbers. They were slaughtered like dogs. And so, for the people of Nimba County, the name Prince Johnson is heroic. They see him as a freedom fighter, and that's understandable because the way those people were slaughtered by the late Samuel Doe and his people, they needed someone to step up to the place. So Prince Johnson stepped up to the place. So when you delve into the history of the Liberian Civil War, uh, a a lot of people, got some form of a stain on their characters. So for now, the very people that he was in bed with today to turn around and say this guy is the worst. Nobody should do business. Can you imagine Jewel Howard Taylor? She was in bed with Prince Johnson.
So why don't we go,
Her,
because he's talking about that, then
yeah,
we'll come back to the conversation.
yeah, sure. So
Let's,
let me just pause there and let you, go ahead with the video.
yeah, at that point, we can open the conversation.
hmm
To thank all the Liberians at home and abroad for the unanimous condemnation of the disruption of our church service last Sunday in this first chapter of faith ministry. We thank the Council of Churches, we thank the very ambassadors in this republic for their condemnation of an act of violence that was perpetrated against our people here in this church. We thank God for them. We thank God for His grace, His marvelous grace, His sweet Holy Spirit. And blessing bestowed upon us today, granting us a brand new day, giving us His breath, for breathe His breath to be the one living. We invite God into our service. Let us pray. Dear Holy Father, we invite you to this service. Grant us wisdom. Take note of me as your pastor, and even more of you. And let the utterances that will go this morning be done. And bless it in Jesus' name. It does it. Today is a very special service. A very special service. So many people in Liberia, even Liberian in the gospel, some of them, they don't understand. When we stand here to proclaim the gospel of life, the gospel of saving grace, many brothers face gold. radio and said this man is taking the pulpit to preach politics. They don't understand. The Holy Bible, first of all scripture is inspired by God. It is useful to teach us what is true and to make us realize what is wrong in our lives. It corrects us when we are wrong and teaches us what to do to be right. The Bible is a book of books. It's also a book of politics. The Bible is preached against the ills, global problems, national problems, and those who perpetrate or inflict those problems upon their own people. And there are too many people who are cowards. Church leaders are cowards. You see what God did this last Sunday? If the disruption didn't come, there will be no national condemnation even from the churches and so forth. Just a disruption, no injury. They brought in the small arm from the clothes, they didn't shoot and go hurt anyone. But just a disruption that caused them to leave the church. People began to run away. There was national condemnation. Even from the council of churches, we thank you. But they've been silent on other national issues, where there have been questionable or mysterious deaths of our citizens. They've been very quiet. Today, I'm going to lay, first of all, the premise before I get to the scripture and the theme. And I want all Liberians around the world, and all of those Liberians who come on the radio, I'm a pro defender. I'm a pro, you will begin to continue to defend pro condition of the Jesus Christ. Pro defender. So I'm laying the premise. And what does the Bible say about what I'm going to read to you from our text? First of all, when you talk about peace, if you speak about peace and your actions don't match what you say, then there is contradiction. When you preach peace, let your utterances, let your action match. Because peace is not when you carry out exploitation on your family people, when you cheat on your wife, when you cheat on your children, you don't give them what they deserve, but you support girlfriend family, and you leave your own. Is that peace for them? You suffer them, you repress them, you oppress them, you deprive them, and they will be very unhappy. So there's no peace in the home. When what is for the nation, when what is for the church, is being exploited by one man. When he takes himself as Lord over the rest of the people in the church, as we see it around the world, there's no peace. That's why you see one group will break away, charismatic Catholic, charismatic Pentecostal, charismatic this, because of break away. Break away because of this satisfaction, this passion on happiness. And so people break away. Because man was created to be happy, to be free. To be free. The Lord God says to man, go and have dominion, go and excel, go and explore, go and be the head and the tail. You were never made to be at the time lower step of the ladder. You are meant to climb up and you don't have a ground. And so any group of people, any individual, any government can be church leadership, can be anything that keeps you down. Where there is oppression, there's a need for freedom. There's a need for deliverance. Yes. And so let me just bring this to you. As I said, I'm going to do the premise. Liberia has 15 countries. 15 countries. All 15 countries must be made to move forward through development. They pay taxes. They need jobs. They need to put food on the table. They need to pay their school fees. They do not want free money. They want to pay their school fees. They want jobs. And so, what's happening here? 15 countries. The employment by this regime is one-sided. It's regionalistic. One, the central bank of the Republic of Liberia, the governor is southeast. The deputy governor is southeast. I will take 30 minutes with this, and I will take 30 minutes to preach. The Minister of Finance, the proper minister, southeast. The deputy minister for planning for the government is southeast. Minister of Mines and Energy. Deputy Minister for Administration Southeast, Assistant Minister for Administration Southeast, Assistant Minister for Planning Southeast, Assistant Minister for Energy Southeast, Assistant Minister for Mineral Exploration Southeast, Assistant Minister for Mines Southeast. Liberia Revenue Authority, LRA. Commissioner General Southeast, Deputy Commissioner General for Administration Southeast, Commissioner for Domestic Tax Southeast, Forestry Development Authority LDA, Managing Director Southeast, Deputy Managing Director for Administration Southeast, Deputy Managing Director for Operations Southeast, National Transit Authority, NTA, Managing Director Southeast, Liberia Electricity Regulatory Commission, National, Chairman of the Commission Southeast. Then you have National Oil Company for Liberia local, Vice President for Finance Southeast, Liberia Petroleum Regulatory Authority LRA, Director General Southeast, Environmental Protection Agency EPA, Director General, Executive Director Southeast, Deputy Executive Director Southeast. We are talking about peace in the nation. Is this peace? That's what the power is against. Now, I continue. Minister of Defense, sub-ministers. Liberia Maritime Commissioner Southeast, GSA Southeast, Minister of Defense. All of these, they come down to Independent National Human Rights Commission, Chairman Purpose Southeast. 3 of the 5 commissioners Southeast. We come to Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, Managing Director Southeast, RRA Boss Southeast, Police RG Southeast, Commerce IG Southeast, Immigration Southeast, DEA Southeast, Speaker Southeast, Federal Speaker Southeast, Pro-Tem. But everyone who becomes Speaker of the President has a hand in there. So all of these things are in the Southeast. This is not the way it should go. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 down to 5, it talks about in the last days there will be hard times inflicted upon the people by leaders, the church leaders, political leaders, whatever leader it will be. You may have club, it will be a hard time for you, but in the last days there will be hard time. What is the last days? There are 3 ages in history. You got the patriarchal age. That's the day of the patriarchs, Abraham and Jacob and Isaac and so forth. You have the Mosaic age. Then you have the Christian age, which of course is the last age on this earth. This age will never pass until Jesus comes. So we are prepared for his coming, when he will come like a thief in the night, and no one knows. Even the angels will not know. So in the last day there will be perilous times, which means hard times. What will happen in the last days? There will be people who will love money. Oh, plenty of money they will love. Small money they will love. Everything. The Bible says the love for money is what? The root of our evil. One who loves money is the others of entitlement. And so instead of increasing salaries, those salaries that were once upon a time increased by the federal government have been cut down by the fiasco technology harmonization. So if you live in Israel and you pay your transport every day to work, at the end of the month you get less. You don't have anything but you spend more for salary. And so at the end of the verse 5, it says, do not have anything to do with evil. With those people who inflict hardship upon you. People who will be loved by themselves, who will be abusive, who will be rude, arrogant, negatively aggressive. The one who saw in the University of Liberia, when I preach, I'm a practical social gospel preacher. So when I preach, I bring it home. Those who inflict hardships, who exploit others, when the gospel, which is a mirror, the gospel is a mirror. We all see ourselves in a mirror. That's what Paul is telling you in Timothy 3:16. The gospel is for teaching, is for rebuke, is to see ourselves when we are wrong and what we should do to correct ourselves. So it's a mirror. There are people who are evil who don't want to look into the Bible because the Bible speaks about the evil doings. We preach against the errors in the nation, and we preach against those who infect the ills. The ills. Now, you see, I preach politics. I just told you the Bible is a book of books. John the Baptist, the forerunner of Jesus Christ, in his days, he didn't go in the wilderness to say, people are here, all around here, he's just taking people away from there. No.
So, Moses,
Yeah.
one of the things I want us to do, let's look at that segment where he talked about the dominance of Southeasterners in the we-are-led government, and even Emmanuel Jackson, avid viewer, just posted something regarding Tipote and the rest of those guys who so-called progressive,
Yeah.
who brought up the 1980, military coup, who were supporters in John the Doe government. They accused the Talbot and the True Party government of,
Dominance.
hegemony. And here we are with and I think I wouldn't even say anything but 1,000 positions within the government is to Southeasterner, and we're talking about the one that say chopping there. They got all the chopping positions. You understand me? So
Yeah.
let's talk about that a little bit, and hopefully we'll go.
Actually, we can
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
But like you said, Volcano, if you do the analysis based on what the senator reported, right? You can hypothetically agree that 90% of senior positions in government are held by Southeasterners.
And let's look at the demographical or
Yes,
the
the people from the
geographical.
south.
I mean,
Yeah,
let's do the geographical
yeah.
a location of Southeast now, so people understand. So
Mm-hmm.
we're talking here, say River G,
Grand Jita,
Grand Gita, Sano,
Grand Crew County,
and Maryland County.
and Maryland. Yeah,
Yeah, in dominance.
yeah.
Could we add a little bit of River says? Because River
Oh,
says
no,
is now on the border per se, like Grand Bassa. It's out there. It's closer to the Grand Cruz Town, right? It's in our
yeah,
block.
era there. Yeah, but from what the senator is saying, he's making specific reference from reference to Grangidians, people from Grand Crew County.
And
Take for example,
Sano.
Sano.
Just an airbrush on Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland, they got a speaker there.
Okay.
Now,
And Ledger
uh,
Maryland. That's what
yeah,
he
they are,
minister.
if you go into history, like you said earlier, when Mr. Doe and his people came, they said, they accused the Toba administration of what political dominance. And you have Mr. Weir repeating the same problem. As
And his is even worse.
Yeah, as
Even like,
president, he has the
even like
power to.
some of these position, Moses.
Yes,
That's the whole
Volcano.
government. That's the
Let's just do something here, right? The Minister of Finance, one of the most lucrative the position in the country, is held by someone from the southeast. The central bank. The
so
governor is
just go ahead.
from
Just go
southeast. The
ahead.
deputy is from
Southeast.
southeast.
Yeah.
The Ministry of Commerce, southeast. The EPA, Wilson Tape, southeast. The Senate Pro Tem, southeast. The Speaker, southeast. The Deputy Speaker, southeast. Okay. You go to the Forestry Development Authority. Also, I mean, if you do a critical analysis of the Weir administration, all these people, southeasterners, then what happened to the rest of the country? Is Mr. Weir telling the people of Liberia that only southeasterners have the right to live in Liberia? This is
So
divisive
you see,
politics.
so you see what I said the other day. What
Mhm.
difference would it make if we are went back for another 6 years?
Of course, the problem would
We
be
are did not make,
exacerbated.
did not make any change per se to his government in terms of reshuffling and looking for qualified, competent people.
Mhm.
He just, got a few guys like the Jefferson Koji, who he put to the Monrovia
Yeah,
City Corporation from Lofa, uh, Thomas Fala from Lofa, who also is not an appointee,
yeah,
instead is an
mhm.
elected official. Uh, what's his name? Moba Molu, who is
Mobile Molo, yeah. I
but
mean, they
but,
make him barely see the president. Don't even make mention of him, man.
but,
He's
but
nobody.
this guy just turned a blind eye on all other tribes in the country.
Yeah.
He just focuses on the southeastern region, and it's like this is our time. This mantra or model that they brought forth is absolutely living up to what he said or they said. This is our time.
Yeah, but Joe Howard said it.
You know,
Mhm.
and it's scaring Moses, because how can we make any transformation in the next 6 years if for 6 years now he has been one-sided? One-sided. And I tell you, it's the same way this young man ran the national team when he was supporting the team. I used to be around, I commented at the national team's game.
Okay.
If we didn't draw the team, nobody draws the team. And when he draws the team, it's also hey boys.
Yeah.
They're the starting lineup. Massa Jr., Thomas Kojo, Kevin Sigwe. That hey boys, they're going on our feet.
They may have other guys that were considered quote unquote sycophants
Yeah.
leading the team. If you disagree, Mr. Weir did not allow you to
You
play
don't,
on the national
so the
team.
coaches did not even have a say in drawing the national
No,
team,
no.
particularly during the time he was actively playing football, coming to Liberia, taking the team to our national competitions. Meaning, when I say national, meaning on the continent,
Yeah.
the continental competitions. So it just manifests now that even in his presidency, he's still one-sided.
He's
And
a tribalist.
yeah, and Prince
You know.
Johnson is reading from documents,
Oh yeah,
demonstrates data and facts.
that thing was well researched, Volcano. The man lives in the country. He's in the Senate. He has oversight responsibility, so he knows the inner working of the government.
And the other
So
problem, I come in,
yeah, go ahead.
the other problem what made Prince mad,
Mhm.
you and myself went in a collaboration.
Yeah,
The things you promised, you didn't give it to me. It's 5.5 years now. We're going. You think I will come back to support you?
no.
All the things, all the promises made. So Prince said the only thing the man get out for us to go carry letter.
Yeah,
He said post
yeah. A crowd, a carry crowd
made us
to
mailman.
yeah to
The
the
mail,
then Ministry
and he
of
said, but no letter, even we can't even deliver mail in the country. That the only place man get.
yeah.
So I'm just saying this in a humorous way that it is now dawning on me that our country has been so one-sided, and a bunch of these folks are inept. Let's call it.
Of course, a good number of them have no clue
So
what they're
he's only
doing.
patronizing his lineage. He's
Yeah.
patronizing his camp because I believe in the deepest of my heart, and let the world hears this tonight, and let President Weah hears this tonight. President Weah came with the attitude of a one-term president. He didn't come believing that he could be a two-term president. And he said to himself, the Liberian people, they are very peculiar. I will do what I can do now. The people who are around me, we will enjoy, we'll get it out of 6 years because I'm not sure if we'll go for another 6 years. He doesn't have the leadership fortitude, the stamina. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have the know-how. So the one term was the blessing he received, and so he has led as a one-term president. It is manifested. It is manifested in his behavior. It is manifested in the way he leads the country. It is manifested in this kind of high class regional tribalism, regional political patronage, and it's manifested all over his government. So he came from the onset knowing that he was a one-term president. And this late that he believes that he's going to be president for a second term, I don't know how he's going to play that magic. It's like when I was watching the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat last night. Miami Heat was up 3-0. They won the first two games in Boston. I don't think they went into that tournament believing that they could have made it to the finals, but they wanted to do what they had to do, and they did what they had to do. They got the 3 games. Boston came back and took 3 games from them.
Yeah.
In that last fight,
Mhm.
Boston fell short. So sometimes you go into competition, sometimes you go into a position you know you're not worthy of, you know you're not competing, you know you don't have the caliber, but you get it by hook or crook or by blessing, and then you take on that role and you're doing it only in that moment. And that is how has run our country for close to 6 years. And that's the point I wanted to make. He came already knew that he was just a one-term president.
Is he Volcano? Mr. Weir is a hypocrite. He says one thing, he does the opposite. I guess you still remember when he mounted the podium on that day when he was being inaugurated. He told the world, not only Liberians, that Liberians will not be spectators in their own economy, right? Now he comes, he runs a tribal hegemony. So what happened to the Cape Montanians? What happened to people from Lofa County? What happens to people from other leeward areas that are excluded? Mr. Weir has the authority to appoint over 4,000 people to political positions. And out of that number, when you do the math that based on this man has said, it means that the man has given out jobs to Southeasterners. 90% of the jobs, the top positions in the government, are all occupied by Southeasterners. So Is it telling us that these people that are not occupying these key areas, they are not Liberians? Are they not qualified? The woman who runs the housing authority, Cecilia Coffee Brown, is from the Southeast. Water and sewer, Southeast. Everywhere you turn, Southeast. No car, Southeast. Then, what was the purpose of the Civil War? What was the purpose of the 1980 military coup? And this is why I think Liberians have to give Mr. Weah a one term. The man he's a tribalist. He's not an inclusive leader. It is all about him. How do you run a society, a small country like that? You get 90% of positions in the public sector to Southeasterners. And you're still running behind the people you want second term.
Let's go back to the video, Moses.
Yeah,
so we
let's go back.
we just wanted to throw the light on that.
Yeah.
And let's continue here.
Mm-hmm.
It's greed. It's greed and it's love for money. Because when we allow the Lebanese men who get manipulated to bring rice, we have $1 on each bag. So if I get $1 on each bag and I'm so rich overnight every time, why do I allow you to get rice? I could bring up a market, that's funny. I would not, because I'm already rich and getting more money every day. Amen. Amen. And so I want you to think about it. This is a special message from God to me and to you. So that this election you can decide. You can decide. There's so much money they've been sending out there. We represent you. We represent you. Many of us are so sincere. We received a communication in 2020 asking us to grant permission to print new notes, to take the stinking notes from the market. We granted the permission. The printer from 2020 till now, $64 billion. None of you have ever been told, Liberia have never been told to change your old notes to new notes. They keep all our money for this election. Pumping the money in every county. They believe in cash violence. This is what the Apostle Paul was warning Timothy. And in the last days, there will be people who will be lover of money. Lover of money. Those who love the money and control your economy will keep all the money. They will strangulate you. And in the midst of hard time, and the Apostle Paul is talking about, in the last days, there will be a ruinous time. In a hard time where you cannot feed, where some people daily meal is ground bean or groundnut with farina, with sugar. That's their daily food. In the face of that, they grab you. They give you money. And they think you can sell your vote, and after that, you suffer. Moses says yes. Keep away from evil people. Keep away from evil people. Thou says the Lord. Amen. 2017 election. I was not invited to any debate. Why? I don't know. But those who were invited, one of them controlling the party right now said, when they asked him, you are a gay. They said, you are a gay. He said, no, that's a question I've been grappling with. I've been struggling with. But the gay people have the right. I support their right. If you support gay right, you are a gay. The Bible says in Genesis chapter 1, hallelujah. Amen. The Bible says in Genesis chapter 1 verse 28, Adam, go and multiply, go and replenish the earth. When man and woman meet, they produce a child, a handsome boy or a beautiful girl. When you take your private part and put it in another man, what do you produce? Zero. This is you produce sickness, disease. Yes. The men will have gonococus, syphilis, and pump it into you. Kill you for smuggling. Your dear and mother God lied to me. So I pursue you. I wanted to get rid of you. People lied to me. Your dear, thereby trying to defeat the rescue train. What do you want to fix? Phase 1, phase 1, phase 2. Phase 1, support gay rights. He's a gay. Maybe phase 2 is a lesbian. I don't know. Because gay and lesbian, they go together. Those who are lesbian, what is the difference between cannibalism? Huh? What is the difference? These are the people Timothy was advised in Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 to 5. Have nothing to do with these people. God hates sin. Isaiah 59, verse 2. The Lord God says, my ears are not dull, that I cannot hear you. My hands are not shut, that I cannot redeem you. But what separates you and me is your sin. It's your sin. You want to be involved in a Sodom and Gomorrah practice. And you know what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? That place is a desolated land. It was destroyed with the furnace from heaven. Melted the rock, destroy everything. Nothing grows there. The dog in my compound will not sleep with a male dog. The chickens in my compound, the rooster will not sleep with a rooster. These things don't have spirits, they move by instinct. So we got the Spirit of God. We were made in the image and likeness of God, Yahweh. That is his name. So why do we support or involve ourselves in loving to our fellow man? This is not African practice. This is a Western practice. It's evil. Those who practice it and you know them. Are you following them because of money? Are you following them because of money? Liberians? You know, they had a program in Basel, I think yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Mauricio Gu, the original founder of ANC, they asked him different questions about how he felt about the gathering and other issues. He brought me inside. I'm a criminal. I'm a warlord. You call me warlord, you think what Bob Marley means to dance? You call me warlord. But you are behind a homosexual. You are behind a homosexual who put a private part in your anus. That is forgetting that God. As a preacher man, I will preach it to the end. You call me warlord. Yes, I'm warlord. I'm a revolutionary. But whatever you call me, compare with what who you find me. Our mother, our sister, our daughter, her own program in Capital Building. I respect her so much, and I still do as I speak. I will not bow down for her. Because I've been intervening in a matter between she and the bossman. When they used to call her names, they were having palaver all the time. They sent me 3 times to make peace. That I led the Senate to go to her also. You calling me warlord? When your husband is a convicted war criminal in a court of competent jurisdiction, war court, marriage is for better, is for worse. Yes. I spoke to Mr. Taylor. He called me, sent his daughter to my house. 2 times I spoken to him, I was shocked. The first time was the time the rice issue was difficult in Monrovia. And someone made a request, I think his other wife is so. So I sent some food. I told my mother some food. with some food and some money. And when she went to the head, she told him. So she called me from her phone and said to me, Senator, I never knew you would do this for me. I never knew. He said, in life, those you expect the most from surprise you sometimes at the least. I never believe you. People lie to me. You're pure and man of God. Lie to me. So I pursue you. I wanted to get rid of you. But God saved you to feed my family at that point in time. It was sorrowful. The man was crying on the phone. Tears began to run down my cheeks. And I said, boss, that's what God saved me for. To reach out to my adversary. Then, just a few days ago, when she talked about me in the Senate, you got 2 master's degrees. She has. She has honorary PhD. She's an honorable woman. I believe in her. You're supposed to be. You're supposed to know your constitution. You want rescue one to die. Then when who gets there, rescue 2, then I will be in charge. Say you pray for somebody to die. Why your boss making die so you can free to them from jail? Don't wish people death. We all will die. You see, Matthew chapter 3, verse 1. There is a time and a season for everything. Then 2 says the time to be born and a time to die. When the time comes, God will take his breath and we go home to eat. So don't pray for somebody to die as a vice president of the republic. You should be concentrating on something better. The crippled people, the disabled people, or the invalids that you are placed over to take care of. They are suffering, crying in your need. Take care of them. Leave me alone. I'm a senator. What you have to do to fix me? Remember, you're VP. You're hired. But this is evil. Keep away from evil people. People who don't know God will say things that they speak, that they say. You are supposed to be on your knees. The old man said to me, I'm 65. They gave me 50 years sentence. I may die here. I may be free. Because there's nothing more can I do. But my wife, he said to me, I have read about from Genesis to Revelation. I've been here. I read the whole Bible every day. He said to me, oh, look at 2P, Broswo, Taylor, and left her. Look at, says Agnes, who suffered over in Burkina Faso, Libya. I left them. Oh, what came over me? I don't know. I go marry both women so I bend her. See, she left me in jail and divorced me. Why is she still using my name? Then he sent to me the divorce paper. I have it on my phone. Yeah. I think I pass it to the press to publish it. You should be praying. Keep yourself holy. God is holy. And he who serves God must do so in holiness and in truthfulness. Maybe, according to the Apostle Paul, he says, present your body as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Meaning, don't pollute yourself. This is my first marriage, this is my last marriage. Amen.
So Moses, let's come back.
Yeah.
He talked about, the conversation he had with Charles Tiller, but he also talked about the exchange with regards to the CPP and what was said. Uh,
Yeah.
one of the folks here watching the show said the CPP was the first to attack him, and so I guess he came back on his pulpit to mention Mr. Cummings and you know
Yeah.
the rest. But I will not go to that conversation because it's a little graphic and it's not something that I would like to tackle tonight. I would believe that the CPP people will handle that. But let's come to the issue of Joa Howard Taylor, who sits as the current vice president, and what she had said with regards to Mr. Boyka, who is on a pacemaker and could die, and then it brings Prince Johnson closer to the presidency. And that's what he was talking about when he said, don't wish death on
Yeah.
someone. But he also talked about how Joy was ungrateful when she and
Mr.
we are
Taylor.
no, she and we
Oh,
were at loggerhead on 3 occasions. He had to mitigate because she was sidelined, and we all saw it from
oh yeah, yeah. It was glaring, man. It
yeah.
was glaring.
Then of course how he had assisted Taylor family, and Taylor had called him and kind of opened up and talked about Joel and the marriage, and how she divorced him and still in jail. So when you push people to the wall, sometimes the things that have held for years because of not scooping to your level. When it just gets to that point,
It
then
can
we
bounce back.
no, no, we call it a chakla. You chakla it, right? Like you said. It's the
Yeah,
same,
which I clever, man.
yeah,
You say,
it's the
okay,
same,
that man myself will spot it.
yeah, it's the same thing that will come to when we talked about the spoon and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Jackson guy. Spoon just decided to chakla everything. So, what do you
yeah.
make up of some of these things? Were they necessary? Is it because we're in the political season, and of course, a lot of dirty clothes will be washed in the public. A lot of things will come out. Some of the things that we speculated for a long time, and the people who are the insider will now begin to talk about these things. But just before you come to that, there's a young man here by the name of Elvis Morris.
Hmm.
He indicated something here. He said he backs Weah for appointing those who are loyal to him.
That's
Uh,
opinion. Yeah.
yeah, and he also says that when Republicans win the presidency, I guess they appoint a lot of blacks and Hispanics in the government. But this is not
Yeah.
about race. You see,
I
Elvis, what
mean,
you listen to Mark, it's not
he's
about race.
missing it big time,
It's
man.
not about
Yeah.
race. It's about a country of one accord. Every Liberian is entitled to Liberia. Okay? In America, there are races here. There are people of varying backgrounds from around the world. So you will understand the vast disparity in how governments run here. But in the case of Liberia, when the Loma men stood in the line to vote for Weah, when the Bassa men, the Pella men, the Vai men, the Day men, the Gisi men, all these people voted for Weah, they are Liberians. And so the government must be cross sectional. It should cut across the boundaries of the country, and everyone should be inclusive. Are you telling me that there's no sound Loma man, there's no sound vibe man to be
No
minister,
sound many, man.
no learned Gisi man and all of that?
Mm,
That the
yeah.
bulk of the government should come from there. But I
Oh,
just wanted
yes.
to mention that so you know that we're listening and we're watching, and you are listening and you're watching. So bagging we are on his appointment to people who are loyal to him, yes, we understand. But when it becomes 90% of his government, then that's a problem.
That's a problem.
And that's what led us to our civil war when Samuel Doe accordingly was polarizing his government. And Doe didn't even have so much crown people in his government like
No.
we has all these Southerners. I think the army was the issue where a lot of
Yeah,
conscription
crown people were. Yeah.
crown
Mhm.
people. But I just wanted to come there. So let's come back to Ms. Howard Taylor.
Yeah. Volcano, if, even I talk about the current vice president, I just wanted to quickly say that the comment the senator made regarding Mr. Cummings, that's too graphic. It's too graphic.
But that's why I don't want
No,
to talk about it.
yeah,
I
I
move
don't.
to
I
Joel
don't
Howard.
want us to delve into that. But what I can say is that the world of today, things have changed. There's what they call self-determination. You know, the issue of gay right is not a human right issue. People decide sexual preferences. So I think the senator was wrong, and I'm not saying this to imply that the ANC leader is a gay. I'm just saying that people who do that, they have the right to make that determination. We should respect them for whatever they are. So that comment was very, very divisive. It was inappropriate, and I don't think we should sanction that, or Liberians should sanction that. Now let's come to
I think his argument, just to give him the
yeah,
benefit of the
yeah,
doubt, is that because he was considered a warlord and
yeah.
he was calling for war crime. And every time people who mess around this war
Yeah,
crime,
that first thing I'll throw at him, yeah.
yeah, then Prince Johnson, you saw what he said to Dillon. Prince doesn't want to hear anything. As far as Prince is concerned, he is not a saint. He's a man of God. He said the Holy Spirit has taken over him. His meekness, his humbleness is because the Holy Spirit is upon him. So he's not going to revert to war. Even the 500 men you were talking about, I guess,
They ain't bring them, eh?
yeah, you were just talking. Continue.
Yeah. But don't forget, Prince Johnson struggles with post traumatic stress disorder. So whenever people talk about what happened in the past, it bothers him emotionally. So we need to understand that, given what happened. So it's always a flashback. Once that is mentioned, it becomes a flashback. So he has a mental health problem. But now let's come back to this discussion about the sitting vice president. Life is so unpredictable, and can for kind of someone who occupied the second most powerful position to come out and wish another person death. Who has control over death? Volcano, I was speaking to you. Let me make this disclosure publicly. I was speaking to you. Um, I think it's almost 2 years. A friend of mine, daughter graduated. My wife and I, we drove. We went to Maryland and we came back. What happened that evening? In high spirit. We went to bed. What happened? I passed out. So I'm just telling you to tell you that how life is so unpredictable. I was never intoxicated, nothing. When I woke up, I found myself in a hospital. I'm wondering about what am I doing here? I literally passed out. So Joa Howard can wish somebody death and she goes to bed, and what happens? She dies. Any of us can die at any time. So I think it was absolutely wrong to say that, oh, the old man is sick. Hey, Joel, you're wishing this man evil? There's this also report out there that Mr. Weir himself has medical problem. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But is she telling us that she's praying for Mr. Weir to die too, so she can become the successor? Is that what she's saying?
But that's what Prince just said. Prince said that. So why doesn't she pray for her boss, meaning
For her
George,
boss to die.
to die so that she can have the presidency to then push for free her ex-husband, Mr. Taylor?
Yeah, that was too mean.
That's what he was saying.
Her statement was too mean. It was inappropriate. It was unrepresentative of a leader. She came across as being very childish.
But that's the same woman that put photos. If a photo is trending on social media, that is under the
The
hand
old man, yeah,
bowing down to his feet, asking
to his
for
feet.
prayer,
Mhm.
asking for prayer. But what we find is that Joa Howard Taylor, if you look at the historical trend of Joa Howard Taylor, she's a grave seeker.
Oh yeah, she's an
She wants,
opportunist.
yeah, she wants to be in the limelight, and she'll do anything. I wouldn't be surprised if Jewel runs for the presidency in 2029.
But she ain't going nowhere,
Because
man.
she'll meet up with me. She'll
Yeah,
meet
you
up.
know, she's Joel Howard Taylor is a dictator. I don't think Liberians are ready for another dictator. The woman is so arrogant to the point that nobody will want to cast a battle for her. So Joel, don't dream about that. You ain't gonna go nowhere. You're very arrogant, very very disrespectful in relating to Liberians. I don't think they will vote for you. She shouldn't waste her time. Okay, now let's come back to the relationship with she and Mr. Taylor. I mean, you tell me, Volcano, you benefited from this man. The man is serving 50 years imprisonment. The vice president, Republic of Liberia, and the man's children, based on what the senator reported, can barely survive. Is Jua telling me that those people did not reach out to her? Volcano, you're my friend and brother. If I'm sitting pretty well, or you sitting pretty well, and my kids reach out to you, you will not look by and say that man was my friend, or he's my friend. That's why people build relationship for. Joel, you benefited from Mr. Taylor. It is Charles Taylor that gave you the prominence that you enjoy today. Your vice president, you can look by Joel. And this is how the senator wrap it up. He said, look, I am telling the vice president to bring her son to my church so I can pray for him. Because he's a Zogo. He's an addict. He's a drug addict.
And that's the only
Well,
child.
on the song. On the song.
And with Taylor.
Yes.
With Taylor.
The only kid she has is a Zogo. So Prince Johnson said, hey, you bring that man to my church and I pray for him. If he doesn't heal, don't never believe me. So, Madam Vice President Senator Johnson has given you the opportunity to take your son for prayer. Maybe you want to go and, reconcile and help your son because he's a Zogo. I mean, no one is happy about your son being a Zogo. But if you've been so insensitive, to the plight of other people, you make all these disparaging comments about other people, you're wishing them evil, then the very evil that you're wishing other people is haunting yourself. That's how I like to wrap it, Volcano.
Yes, and I think, again, as I said, and someone put out our Liberian parable, when you pull rope will pull bush. In these political seasons right now, people need to be careful about the utterances, what they say,
Yeah.
how to go about it. But the truth here is Prince Johnson back is against the wall. The first thing is that Prince has done some good and has done some damage. Let's call a spade a spade.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
He's done some good and he's done some damage. What his perception is about who he is what he perceived. I was not a warlord. I was a freedom fighter. I came to represent a region, my kinsmen, my tribal men who were being hunted, who were being slaughtered, as he always puts it. And I came in defense of them. And in the process of doing this, the very men who perpetrated those heinous crimes against my kinsmen and my tribal men, I went after until I got him. And after I got him, I ceased to exist. I invited the international community. I invited ECOWAS. I invited the peacekeeping force. And once they took a hold of the country, Taylor still were pursuing to attack me, to get me or to get Morovia. I got out of there and I was done with war. I went in exile. I didn't come to be president. If Prince Johnson wanted to be president, let's talk about some of the good and bad.
They may had the opportunity.
To be president, he was a stone throw away from the executive mansion.
But
He wouldn't have allowed an interim government to come in.
No.
Then we were being a failed state. We're going to look like the Somalia.
Yeah, we're going to be a divided society. Yeah.
And it was just going to be continued chaos. Our people were just going to die by the thousands, and that's where we're going to be.
Mhm.
But Prince did what he had to do. The monkey that was on the Nima people back,
He brought it down.
got rid of the monkey, and he decided to pack his stuff and to go. Taylor, on the other hand, came with the intent to want to be president, and he succeeded at that. Didn't hold the presidency well, and it got out of his hand. He went back to square one. That is why he's facing what he's facing.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter here is, let's continue to say that Prince Johnson is a warlord. Yes, granted. Let's continue to say that Prince Johnson committed crimes. Yes, against humanity. It is a fact. But why, when Prince Johnson came back and became a politician, the very people today who continue to say Prince Johnson, the warlord, war crime, all of these things, are the very people he gave his vote
Help
to.
to it. Yeah.
That is why in a few broadcasts ago, I said, Moses, and I will repeat myself here tonight, there's no need for war crime court. What we need is an economic crime court. I know people are going to call me an idiot. Granted, agree. But if you analyze what I'm saying to you, what good is the war crime court? What good it is? When the issue in Liberia is not war, it's economic crime that is ongoing in our country. For as long as 1990 to 2023, that's what we've been experiencing. The pillaging of our economy, our resources, government in, government out, people who had nothing becomes millionaires overnight.
Yeah.
You want to tell me Edwin Snow is not a war criminal? I mean, an economic crime criminal? You want to tell me that Musa Belede is not an economic crime criminal? You want to tell me that George Weah, who became president the other day, is not an economic crime criminal? You want to tell me that Serena Seaforth and Nathaniel McGill and all these guys, you don't really think that they're economic crime criminals?
Of course, they are indeed criminals.
Let's talk so and talk so. What would a war crime court do when many of the warlords are already gone? Prince Johnson now is an economic crime criminal.
Of course, he is.
Play for play, or however you want to call it, pay to play. You know. So there's a lot of people who are pillaging the country's resources, becoming millionaires overnight, enjoying the very phase of the destitute Liberians who their family were killed, but they can't bring them back. No. What you can do is to create an enabling society where everyone can have a meal, where someone can turn his light switch on and electricity comes on, where he can open his faucet and get water, where he can have a way to get to work and back and put meal on the table. But when you have a few group of people, Southeastern, indigenous looters, looting the very country, the coffers, everything that we beg for, we steal. The one that we create within the domestic taxation in the country, we steal. Then you're talking about war crime court?
I mean, what you see,
economic crime court.
What you see, it does make a lot of sense because right now, like you said, one of the greatest challenges Liberia has is economic crimes. You know, we saw that with Samuel Doe. We saw that with Mr. Taylor when he had the central bank a white flower. You know, I'm sure you still remember those days. At the end of the day, Kari went to, Kadiatu Dara, Finney's ex-wife. She was their liaison. She went to all these places and she took money to the White House, where Mr. Taylor then stayed at. That's where the central bank was reported, even reportedly stationed at. They just had other guys there, as stooges. But Mr. Taylor, had absolute control of the nation's finances. He controlled everything. And then now you have a man who lacks the understanding, but he's more, concerned about his personal ego than the good of the country. So he goes into the country's coffer with impunity. He came to the presidency. The first thing he did, he decided to build 49 condominium. He tore down the ninth street resident is now a mini mansion. So I agree with you. You have a deputy minister, who is just building mansions all over the place. Now let's do Councillor Gonglo will say, let's do lifestyle audit. When you became deputy minister, what was your worth then? How much do you earn as deputy minister? We see that you got all these high-rise buildings. Where is this money coming from? Nathaniel McGay, we see that you got homes all over the place. As minister of state, what was your income before you became minister of state? How much property you have? How much you have in the bank? Jefferson Koji, you have a very top-notch radio station in Lofa County today. Before, you could not afford a rent of $150. So where did you get the money from? Hold these people accountable. Lifestyle audit. And I agree with the councillor on that, Volcano. And hold people accountable. We need to hold people accountable in our country. It does make a lot of sense. It does make a lot of sense.
I mean, because what do? You're not going to resurrect the dead by holding war crime court.
Yeah.
You're not going to resurrect the dead. The family members they left here are the ones who are feeding the brunt of the evil corruption being perpetrated in the country on a consistent and daily basis. These are the people who are suffering it. Those innocent people who have been killed, they're gone. Their souls are in a place of rest until judgment. But the family members here who live, how will they forget the pain and the suffering that they're going through?
Yeah.
How are they being repaid? You repay them by creating an enabling environment, a good economy, the opportunities so that everyone can thrive. Instead, only a few people. And what hurts me in this the most is that these few people come with nothing, and in less than no time, they are millionaires overnight. And it's so glaring. It's glaring that there's no way they can explain the wealth, the ill-gotten wealth. But you have the president at the echelon of power. And we can put it to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. We can put it to Udi Bryan the late. We can put it to Charles Taylor. Because some of his boys got rich. Ellen boys got rich. Today we are boys are rich. So what's going to happen with JMB boys? What's going to happen with Cummings boys? What's going to happen with Tiawon Gonglo boys? What's going to happen with Clarence Moneybar boys? What's going to happen with Volcano Shelton boys?
The public coffers just becomes the means for getting rich. Yeah,
it's scaring. That is why I said, what difference will it make if any one of these people become president October 10th, 2023? What difference would it make? The same boys are recycled. The same boys are playing pay for play. The same boys are in the hegemony relationship. The same boys form the clique. What difference would it make?
If I can just come in, the only difference, like I told you the other night, the only difference that it will make is that whoever that will be at the top of the leadership will be more prepared to lead.
Be the difference maker. Let's start there. The difference that it will make the person
is that the person will be
the difference maker. But if you come back and you start to do political patronage, cronyism,
they will go down the hill.
Share your more, your own. We can hear. Somebody said something the other night, Moses. I was in a conversation. If I recall, or maybe it was a caller from a talk show.
Yeah.
I said all the money that Alexander's coming spending.
Oh yeah, it was a talk show.
All the money that Cumming spending, you think when he get to the presidency, he want his money back?
Of course you will.
So
But
you
but
just
but but you know what, Mr. Comey is on record.
I'm
It-
just coming. No,
yeah.
Moses, I'm just being hypothetical, but at the same time, a
Yeah,
little.
you're right. Yeah.
Listen. I'm in a state of trepidation.
Okay, go
What's
ahead.
going to happen with our country come October 10, 2023? It is the resounding joy for a change in leadership, one that will come and be patriotic, nationalistic, accountable, honorable, because the presidency and the governance of a group of people, a society is honorable. It's an honorable position. People who would treat that in that light, accountable, responsible. Those are the critical words that a leader must wear as armor. You know, when the guy goes to a battle,
Yeah.
he wears his armor for protection.
Well protected.
Those are the words that must protect the presidency. Honorable. Don't just be here, fly by. You be saying, "Oh, Hey, Excellency, Samuel, when the jaw open, we are excellent." You know what they call excellency?
Liberia best preso.
You know what I'm saying? When you're using these kinds of honorific titles, it comes with the character, the attributes, the understanding of leadership, the regards for the position. When you have regards for a position, you were treated with dignity, you were treated with respect, you were treated as honorable, as accountable, as decent. But when you come to a position and you think that you got it by hook or crook, or the people are just nice to you, so the difference, like you said, must be in the leader who
Yeah.
sets the tune, who hold he or she accountable. The people in his closest circle must be the first that he prosecute, hold accountable. Then he can spread that down, you
Yeah.
know,
I
to
agree.
the bottom. But when
I
you
agree.
come there and it's business as usual, it becomes my trepidation, and I'm just nervous that it's going to be almost the same 6 and 7 books of Moses.
Yeah.
And go back
And
to,
unfortunately,
and that's the kind of politicians we find today.
unfortunately, if Liberians make that mistake to re-elect George Weah, and that is not a campaign against Mr. Weah, but I'm just speaking as the nationalist. Like you said, Volcano, if Mr. Weah is re-elected, Mr. Weah who depends on his supervisors to lead, then waiting going to happen. The problem will get exacerbated. Things will get out of control. And right now we're talking about 90%. Maybe if he's re-elected, that number may shoot to what? 100. You're going to have all Southeasterners in all of the prominent positions in the country. This is 90%. So why you think the man will not just add a 10 there? Because when he's re-elected, he's no longer campaigning again for another, a term. So he can do whatever that he pleases. Or whatever that pleases him to do is what he will do. That's why Liberians must think Liberia first. George Weah is not a good fit. You need a leader who has the capability to understand the inner workings of government. Who can muster the courage to say Volcano Shelton is my friend, but for the fact that he took money from the Ministry of Finance, I will not compromise Liberia's interest because of friendship. I will hold Mr. Shelton accountable. That's what you need, Volcano.
Are you hitting on something in your studio?
Oh yeah, that's what you need, Volcano. That's what we need over there. Someone who has that capability to lead by example. Not people coming and raising your hand and telling you Paku is strong, Paku is strong, Paku is strong, and the country is literally drowning.
Yeah.
That would be the difference.
And I'm looking
You
forward
know.
to that difference, Moses. If you just joining us, welcome to the Issues Room. We are here discussing the things that matter to our country, Liberia. As we gear up for our national elections, we're looking at some of these pertinent issues to discuss. We like to encourage all of you, our viewers, wherever you are in the world tonight, to continue to share the link, invite someone to this conversation. Why it is true that you are looking for what you want to hear. Sometimes a spade is a spade. There's nothing we can do about it. And I think we're covering grounds here tonight. We're discussing Prince Johnson, his role in the Liberian Civil War, but also how he feels about what is trending in the country. He talks about President Weah having the majority in his government as southeasterners. He also mentioned Madam Joy Howard Taylor and her role currently in Liberia, and divisive statements, and her lack of support to her former husband's children, and what
Yeah.
she is not doing as in her capacity. Uh, at this time, we'll say please follow us, like us, share the link, invite someone to join us here tonight. We have What Type of Country Is This? And we also have Memory Lane. And I would say to you that if it is your first time here in the Issues Room, please stay around to the end of the broadcast, because Memory Lane and What Type of Country will drive you wild. Our Memory Lane tonight will be education versus, rather, knowledge versus ignorance.
Right.
Okay, knowledge versus ignorance.
Ignorant.
Written by Dr. Eman Sumo, who has been a major contributor here with that segment in the Issues Room. We probably won't open the line tonight because it's what it is. Many of times we open the lines and no one wants to call, because I believe people just want to listen. People want to probably put a chat in the chat room, and that's what we do everything to make sure we are posting those chats. Again, we say thank you for being there with us. Alfonso, our colleague, couldn't be with us tonight due to pressing engagement. Hopefully, he will join us here on Friday. Again, we say thank you. Thank you for being a supporter, an Ivy viewer, an Ivy listener, coming here night in and night out. We only broadcast 2 days a week because both of, not both, but rather three of us are working,
Yeah, very busy. Yeah.
and so it's a major commitment, and this is free. There's no money coming from nowhere, no support coming from nowhere. Moses, Alfonso, and myself, we are footing this out of pocket. And now one day we've posted a cash app number and beg you guys, just you coming here and joining us in itself is sufficient. So to the politicians tonight, to the big boys with all the free money, if you want to, give something to the Issues Room, will be willing, but will not be a promoter, please. Okay, don't say you're giving us something, so we should come be your noise maker. But overall, we are doing well, and with your viewership, we continue to encourage you, and we say thank you for everything you do. It costs a lot, just you taking off your time to sit here and listen to what we share with you, and how we go about it. And that is why we don't want to take monopoly, Moses, over the conversation.
Mhm.
When we open the line, we encourage you to
You
call,
want people to call you. Yeah.
or when you chime in with your piece. If you have a statement, a topic, or I mean, rather a question, we'll post and then we'll discuss it. We want this conversation to be inclusive, and that is what we've done over the years. And so we're asking you to be a part. So Moses,
Yeah.
Charlyne Brumskine,
Yeah.
accordingly, is currently engaged to our former workmate
Yeah.
Charles
Dennis.
Dennis. And Charlie and myself entered LBS in the class of uh, 90, 91, and I mean 91, 92, or somewhere around there.
Yeah, that was when
Yeah,
LBS. Yeah.
yeah, we were still at the Ecomog base
Hmm.
when I became a part of ELBC. So Charles and myself started off. Um, Not much that I know of Charlyne, except that I know that she's the daughter of former late Councillor
Brumskine.
Brumskine. She's a lawyer. I hear that she runs the
Yeah,
law
she is.
that was
She
left.
runs a dialogue film. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, run by her father.
Mhm.
Um, well, how did she become this politician? She had recently decided to run as a representative representing a district in Grand Bassa County.
Mhm.
And I believe the works were being done. And here comes Mr. Cummings, who tried. Jeremiah Kuhn said they reached out to him. I believe other people, but then the notable people were Jeremiah Kuhn, who mentioned, and they have not come to refute that. And you also have Yombli Conga Lawrence, who he attempted to, and she refused and decided to continue on with the rescue train. She didn't want to be a fixer. So he then reverted to Charlyne Brumskine. Do you think that Charlyne, with the infinitesimal amount of political, you know, what do I say, experience, uh, accordingly, Liberian politics in itself, I call it the Sony Wen waterside, dirty water politics. Do you think she can pull the crowd to help aid this ticket, the Cummings Brumskin ticket, to be
Yeah.
probably the next governance body in the country?
A very good question. And before I even say yes or no, let's look at Councillor Brumskine, Charlyne Brumskine. She's a very smart um, female. She's 47, a mother of two. She's a daughter of the late Councillor Charles, Brumskine, former Senate Pro Tem during the Taylor administration. He's also, he was also a former associate of the disbanded NPFL, the National Patriotic Front. Charlyne currently runs her dad law firm. She teaches law at the Louis Arthur Grant School of Law, and she also has corporate work experience. Her dad was a very notable character in Liberia. Now the question is, what does she bring to the table, right? And honestly, Volcano, I think her selection, I may be wrong. Her selection as running mate to Mr. Cummings was done out of desperation because Mr. Cummings struggled. He really, really struggled getting a running mate. I listened to Senator DeLong yesterday. He spoke to a group of reporters. He said he went to see the former president, um, Mr. Salif. While there, who did he see coming in? It was Mr. Cummings and Mr. Musa Belede. The former president had called him, to seek support for Senator Yomli Kanga to form alliance with Mr. Cummings to go as his running mate. That did not work out. Mr. Cummings and his people, they spent hours. Not only that, they also provided material support to supporters of Mr. Combs in Nimba County just to get him on board as a running mate. That also did not work out. And so Mr. Cummings was all over the place trying to get, somebody. They went to Grand Bassa County. Now let's do the comparison here. Let's look at the two individuals. When you talk about Liberian politics today in Grand Bassa County, the name Senator Yombli Kanga stands out. I know the Liberal Party is divided. She has one of the factions, and Mr. Ability has another faction. But she's more powerful, she's more popular as compared to Mr. Ability. in Grand Bassa County. You saw the number of individuals that show up to the program. So Poti Yomri Kanga, because now what the ANC has done is to put the senator against against Charlyne. They all come from the same party. But in terms of who has that capability to pull the votes, Charlyne is not more popular as compared to Senator Brumskine. As compared to Senator Kanga Lawrence. You saw the endorsement when she delivered that endorsement statement in Grand Bassa County. You saw the number of people that turned out. Charlyne is a young woman who was even trying to enter the House as a representative. But that political venture was cut short after Mr. Cumming and his people asked her to run. I think Mr. Cumming and his people are going to spend more time, because now Volcano, what's going to happen is that they're going to spend more time trying to sell Charlyne to the people of Liberia, because also Grand Bassa County would know Charlyne. In the diaspora, would know Charlyne Brumskine. Does her name resonate politically? Yes, she's the daughter of Councillor Charles Brumskine. But this election is not about Charles Brumskine. And it will not be about Charles Brumskine. It's going to be about Mr. Cummings, Joseph Boakai, George Weah, and the others. So in terms of being able to pull votes, both at home and abroad, I don't think that young lady has the capability to bring, the kind of votes that Mr. Cummings needs to win the presidency. Her popularity. Look, from what I saw, 20 trucks, 20 buses, truck people to Grand Bassa County. It's like I live in Delaware, Volcano, and you want to prove that I want to prove that I'm popular in Newcastle, Delaware. And you decide to use me, for political reasons. I said, my man, come to my hometown. Then you go to Philadelphia and bring all the people there to my hometown. Don't you think I should be able to put more people in my hometown to show you that I am popular in the Liberian community in Newcastle, Delaware? Should you bring Liberians from Philadelphia, from Minnesota? Then what's going on? Then where's my popularity in the Liberian community in Delaware? That's the question. You saw what Yombly did. I don't think Charlyne can. I don't think she will be.
So what do you make of the folks who say that she should have just stayed in her little lane? When you driving, driving on the 95 or any interstate, stay on the far end. Yeah. Any truck coming, you can jump off the road. When you jump in that left lane, that people speeding, when you in front of 90 miles per hour.
Yeah, then you learn how to turn, forget it.
When something happens, you hitting the median.
Yeah, that's
hitting that concrete median.
Yeah.
So people say, Charlyne, you just come in the thing. Now power business here we talking. Part of footstep. Your papa, he tried all his best. He still didn't see it.
He didn't win, yeah.
You the baby now, you won't come, you jump straight to vice president, lifting your hand, you ain't really hit that.
You can't make it, no.
Hey, whatever country is this?
In fact, Volcano, let me just introduce this little joke. The young woman, she even defeated the purpose of her naming ceremony. When she mounted the podium, she wasted the time of the Liberian people by talking about her relationship with Charles Dennis. What has that got to do with you?
Yeah, I need to listen.
Being named as a running mate. She said, she met Charles Dennis. And when Charles decided to propose to her, he traveled to her dad's gravesite to ask her dad for approval.
Oh,
What has that got to do with? What has that got to? We did not. Those people that show up in Grand Bassa County did not go for your wedding ceremony.
so Moses,
Yes.
understand the politics.
Yes.
The politics in America, you often want to hear is small, beautiful story.
Yeah.
And it's done in America because of the sameness of the society here, the literacy of the society.
Yeah.
People can resonate with those nice little stories.
Yeah.
In Liberian politics, don't come with those nice little
No,
stories.
it ain't gonna mean, it ain't mean
Don't come
nothing
with
to
the
that.
fairy tale stories because it's not going to resonate with the
They're not
people.
gonna sell.
The people won't come. Bemwe,
Yeah.
how many
They-
way? They penny oh me, I can't I hope
Yeah, your daughter, they ain't know. They can't tell the people say when you met Charles Dennis,
yeah. The
you
people
know
are
how they met, how to go see your mind, or to come and propose to
hold
you.
on now, hold on. Take people to come here to come to serve you. So my people are here for you. All right, that's simple English. That's why some people were saying she doesn't speak Basel, she doesn't know the language, and they thought it would be a barrier for her. So a lot of decks are stacked against poor Charlyne, but it's my hope that she will grow into it. We still
Yeah.
have months to go. Um, I don't think it's a loss for her. For I'm
But
coming, Moses. I'm coming. I don't think it's you had your time. Let me finish. Then you come with the first thing. I don't think it's a loss for her. It
yeah.
brings her to the limelight. It puts her name out there. She's educated. She's qualified. She's young.
Mhm.
There's a lot of years ahead of her, but she's not able to deliver. She doesn't have the deliverables now. Does it hurt her career to becoming a representative? No.
Of course.
I think it exposes her, and it puts her in the limelight of the conversation. If she were to run against anyone
In
from
the future.
in the future,
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
it means anything here. I just think it adds numbers to her. It gives her a bigger picture. It spreads her because she was more local to Buchanan and his immediate environs. Now
Mhm.
she's a
She
national.
going international now. Yeah. Yeah. At least for for that name recognition, we can give it to her on that. That at least she will begin to gain, local or even international name recognition. But for this election, she's not going anywhere. And like I said, and Daniel Sana, I want to say thank you for recognizing that. If you go to Grand Bassa County today, anyone who knows the politics, you go to Grand Bassa County today, Yombli is the hero. She's the hero for the people. She is.
So listen, Johnson Colley, stay in your lane, especially when you're driving on permit. Charlie is just entering politics. You want to go
You
where?
know my yeah, she wants to go way to the top. Her dad ran, and he never succeeded. And Charlyne, you're a young woman. You just coming from way at the bottom.
Was it save that one for whatever country is this?
And you want to be VP?
Save it. We can't finish talking now. So let's move to the last segment here in the conversation tonight. We just want
Yeah.
to just throw light on that. But Spoon and a guy by the name of Isaac Jackson Jr.
Isaac Johnson, yeah.
Honestly, this was my first time seeing the guy.
Yeah.
And when I listened to the intro of that broadcast that day when he was brought on, and he went against a guy called Daniel Sando, one of the
Mhm.
panelists, called a guy an intellectual moron, and he was just so. I mean, the
He's
guy,
an arrogant fellow.
yeah, but
you
but
know.
he wanted to showcase his verbosity
Mhm.
on words. And sometimes it's not about the student companion words rather that
Oh
you
man,
learn.
Volcano, man. How you destroying people's songs over, man?
Oh, but my man, the man just wanted to show his prowess. He came with muscles. And
Yeah.
sometimes when you own these talk shows, the platform is so big. And let's give Spoon.
Yeah. I mean, man has a very big platform now, man. It's
You
not
want
debatable.
to be calculative. You want to be poised. You want to be professional, irrespective of your learned, background. You still want to be at a level. Don't come here and come act up because Sometimes in the radical of conversation, some people can go what I call low down, dirty shame. And that's what we're about to see. Check this out, my people.
Yeah.
Man, before someone said that the rich is insane. But good counselor, though.
I'll find it for you.
Counselor, I said, thank you.
I
said, Jackson, it's good to see you, my brother. It's been a while. I heard that you went to Liberia and the people were saying no, they couldn't work with you. You came back hurriedly because there was no space under Mr. Cumming's tent. If that's true, I'm sorry. I'm just telling you. You know me very well. We met. We drank the pepper soup. We ate food for you and myself. Let's have a good conversation tonight. Charlyne Brumskine, if you're not talking about the opposition to CPPP, what do you think the Charlyne Brumskine brings to the table that Charles Walker Brumskine couldn't bring? That you, Asa Jackson, insulted Charles Walker Brumskine. That you, Asa Jackson, berated the entire Liberty Party. That you, Asa Jackson, say her father was unfit at some point to be president of Liberia. What's the difference? What does she bring that her father didn't bring at the time?
The first thing I will start with in response to your first comment, then I go to your question, is to place on the record a quotation by Dr. Boyma Family, one of the towering intellectuals in our country. He said, for people who steal and kill, lying can be a child's play. And what I would want to do for the conversation, I will emphasize and I will de-emphasize the kill. For a guy who is accused of stealing like you, to lie on this platform is going to be a child's play.
Let's stop that, Moses. And I want us to critically look at, because it's a short segment.
Yeah, you know what, Volcano?
No.
My man, I beg you, please. You know
what you want to do, Moses?
Roll it, my man.
No, let's not roll it. I just want to set the tone so the viewers.
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of times people don't catch these things.
Yeah.
Stanton comes from a place and say, let's have a good conversation. He already alerted him because apparently Stanton knew his argumentation.
Yeah.
How he comes across and how, he wants to show off. He wearing a purple tie. He put the pleat in the tie. So, the ball can tie if he did the tie.
Yeah.
And he wearing his little suit and he got his seal on it. So Stanton wanted to pacify the situation. Have a good conversation.
Yeah. That was a good one. Yeah.
Right? He starts like that. Brother, we drank the pepper soup and all of that.
Yeah.
He giving him hint. Don't come here to spoil the thing tonight.
Yes.
But not only that, he said, I heard. He didn't say, I know.
Yeah, he said, I heard. Yeah.
I heard. Oh, okay. So, my man, I'm afraid to say the man tie is a clip on. It's already tied.
So, you're clipping it. Okay, we agree.
Come back to so Stanton is saying here, let's not push this, right? But I heard that you went on a Cumming's tent and they threw you out of there.
Yeah.
That was
had no space for you.
Yeah, so that was just simple. Come back, deal with that. Yeah. Because the main question that he asked had to do with Brumskine. What could she bring that her father
to the table? Yeah.
So he said he wanted to
demystify
or something. He said, and
talking about demystify. Yeah.
What's his name? Burma Famule that and lie and killer and all of that. But was it necessary? So let's continue. I just wanted you to see that and the viewers to see that.
Yeah.
Because I'm giving Spoon his credit now. He did come to fight a battle.
No, he did not.
Set the stage.
Yeah.
Set the stage.
Yeah, that's good.
Nobody ever told you, and if they told you, it's a deliberate falsehood, that I left Liberia because I couldn't fit on a Cumming's tank. That is a silly lie. It can be disproved but on several levels. Because when I was leaving Liberia, I wrote and I put it in the chat room that we all belong to. All right. So when you start to market your lies, then you got to be careful how you market those lies, because everywhere in Liberian politics are and most needed. You understand, my friend? So you got to get away from lying. I know you've been accused of stealing, but lying is not something that will elevate this platform. And I think.
So let's go back again, Moses. Let's go back again. And I like to do this because it's important. This is the segment that we're holding now.
Yeah.
He says that if somebody told you, then it's a lie.
Yeah.
So it was just simple to say,
like that.
Mr. Witherspoon, actually, I went to Liberia. I'm fitable in any political camp. But whoever said that, because you said you heard, it's a lie.
Leafy has that.
That's it. That's it. Don't come here and talk about the stealing and talk about this and that, and the man is a certified criminal and all of that, right?
Yeah.
Just wanted to point that out again.
No, you're absolutely right.
Had the opportunity to only focus on the hearsay and not accusing Witherspoon himself. And even if Witherspoon thought to throw that little caveat in the conversation, as a counselor, a man who professes to have a law degree, you go in battle with your opponent.
Yeah.
It could be a prosecutor or a defense counsel. In the root of law, in the court of law, in the argumentation, people come at you, even character assassination.
There was everything to get at you.
You have to find the balance, and you got to be able to discern what people are saying, contrary to what you know, and answer within in accordance with what you want to make clear. In this case, he took the bait.
Yeah.
He took the bait, right?
Yeah.
He's a little fish. He acted big because he's wearing purple tie, So he took the bait, and that's what happened to him. So let's go now to the cross of the matter.
You do well to desist from lying. The other thing I want to say, you will do well to desist from lying.
I said, let me hold you right there because you have some order on the show. Do not come with that anger, okay? Because we can display the anger. Because before you choose to go to Liberia, Isaac.
So don't come with anger. But Spoon had enough now.
Oh yeah.
He's already shown that he was not going to compromise, meaning Isaac, he was not going to cave in. He's ready for the fight.
Yeah, see, man to man.
Man to man. So let's go on the fight. So Spoon is all the patient.
Yeah.
Before you choose to go to Liberia, you begged me to help you. I don't want to say it. And you know that I got a text message. You begged me to help you. So do not get out of your skin if I'm telling you that I hurt for you to directly insult me after you begged me to help you with transportation to go serve Mr. Cumming. You don't want to do that, Isaac Jackson. You don't want to do that, Isaac Jackson. Before we drank the fufu soup, Isaac Jackson, in Minnesota, before we drank the fufu soup in Minnesota, Isaac, you begged me. You don't want to go there. Before you came to Europe, you begged me and I helped you. Before you settled in Minnesota, you begged me and I helped you. So you don't want to be personal. I asked you a direct question. And you don't come here to say you want to attack me. If you say that I stole the money, but I used the money to transport you from Europe to Minnesota. I used the money to take care of you while you live in Minnesota. I helped you. I used the money when you begged me to go to Liberia. I transported you. I said, don't sit on this show. Do not sit on the show.
You are a dangerous liar.
Do not sit on the show for
I see why you are.
Do not sit on the show one day. You will give me a chance. I will give you a chance. I said, I will give you a chance. Isaac, you will win. I'm moderating. I will give you a chance, Isaac. Hold your peace. What? Hold your peace.
Hold your peace. So what Isaac doesn't understand, it is the technology piece here. Witherspoon is at ankle.
Yeah, he's controlling.
Yeah, he can mute anybody.
Yeah.
So he's trying to go tick for tack with Witherspoon, and Witherspoon muted him and gave him a little bit of, and so now he's stuck in a conundrum.
Yeah.
He can't get his counterpoints across. No. And so he's struggling to make the case. And Spoon said, I will give you time.
And he
Hang
was not
on.
willing to do that.
Not willing because he wants to fight. He wants to clarify. He wants to fight the battle. And so what happens? Dr. Francine felt uncomfortable,
Yeah.
disappeared briefly, as you can see.
Yeah, she disappeared briefly and came back.
You can see panelists, retired Colonel E. Raymond Gray.
Mhm.
I'll put it back. You see, he got his head hung down.
Yeah, he was
Daniel-
embarrassed. Yeah.
Daniel Sandel, who was,
Laughing.
I'm coming. Daniel Sandel, who was called a moron, intellectual moron, by Mr. Jackson, is smiling because somebody's voicing his batter. Alpha Diga is sitting there. Hussein Fadiga, right?
Yeah. Alfadiga, yeah.
It's sitting there and chilling and just, then you have a counselor on the other side of the
Yeah, that Lami Pago.
and he's just like, damn,
He's disappointed, yeah.
why am I in this thing?
Yeah,
And
disappointed.
my man disappeared.
Yeah.
The man disappeared.
The man disappeared.
He ran away.
He took himself, or yeah.
He can fight.
Yeah,
So let's
he took
continue the
himself.
battle.
Mhm.
Brother, hold your peace. Hold your peace. I will get you a chance. I will still
Okay,
bring you
so you
back. I
come
can't
back.
take you away,
Yeah.
Isaac.
See, I'm happy for that. I'm happy for that.
I can't listen, Isaac. I get a thick skin. I can never take you away. But we'll do it one at a time. For you as a reasonable counselor.
I'd like to make a suggestion.
No, Dr. Richardson, don't make suggestion now.
I
Don't
like
make
to.
suggestion now. No, it's meant to man. As a Johnson get thick skin,
I
I
don't think
do.
it's helpful for the show.
Yeah. I like man to man.
So, Francine, you can look at her face.
Oh yeah, she's upset. Yeah.
And the sad thing is she's the only female here. And I'm the guy said, listen, man to man. If you want to be here tonight, pack your satoka and go. But we man to man.
Yeah.
Or go offline for now. Smartly, go offline for now. Be in the background. Let's handle this segment. When we come back for the real conversation, we'll hold it. So all of these things, when I say people come to this platform, they don't understand the etiquette, the etiquette.
Etiquette, yeah.
They're not trained on the fundamentals like you and I went through the schools and the walls of broadcasting. We don't know where to separate ourselves
Yeah.
from the dilemma. And that would have been a perfect opportunity. So she was trying to harmonize the situation, but it was out of hand. It has gone out of hand, and there was nothing she could do because Spoon said it's man to man. And then your man said, I like it. Let her take the fight, right?
Yeah.
And the other guy just sitting back, look at Remy. He now
Yeah. Other than feeling bad,
let's see where the fight goes. All right?
Yeah, continue the fight, yeah.
No, Dr.
I like
Richardson.
man to man.
No, Dr.
I mean,
Richardson.
because
don't
you
do
guys
that.
are airing things that
No, I'm man to man. I like that.
it's not making
Dr.
any
Richardson.
sense at all.
Dr.
It's not
Richardson,
helping us. This is not the
Dr.
kind of
Richardson,
It's
conversation.
man to man. I like it. I like that. That's man to man.
You brought Isaac Jackson for us to have a conversation on the show. Let's have the conversation.
Good conversation.
Isaac Jackson, I've been knowing Isaac Jackson. Let me say this to you. You know when they say,
No, but Stanton, you first lie. You told it.
"Oh, give me a chair. We'll get you a chair." I said, "Hold your peace. You will talk today."
No, but you lie. You lie.
No, I said, "Hold your peace. You will talk today." We're not hearing you because it means that you will
Mr.
wait.
Jackson.
You will wait.
Mr.
No,
That's
Jackson.
not
If you talk, I have to talk.
I say you will talk. You
Mr.
will talk.
Jackson.
You will talk, my brother. You
Can
will
we
talk.
talk?
Wait.
Can we
wait,
please do not go
don't
into
get- don't get under your
discussing
skin.
personal issue on the show?
When we're having a show, we bring people from all walks of life. Fadika, Daniel Sano, Dr. Richardson, Councillor Lamine, Remy Gray. I do not attack anyone on this show.
No.
I do not attack anyone's character. But when I hear something, I bring it up. If that's your will to say it is not true, say it is not true. I'm not pinning it on you. This my brother Isaac Jackson. He know where he and myself came from.
No,
Since
you must keep on.
no, you were weird. You were weird. Let me make my case. You will not argue. You will have your time. Take your pen and your paper. This my brother Isaac Jackson. Since he was in Europe stranded. Since he was in Europe stranded. I don't like to do this.
Did you send me money in your?
Brother, wait now. Wait, hold your peace now.
You better belong to it.
Don't be hasty. Don't be hasty, brother.
You better be.
Don't be hasty. Don't be hasty. Don't be hasty, brother. Don't be hasty. You on the spoon
Okay,
talk.
show me.
Don't be hasty. Don't be hasty. You are not. Did I
Man,
hear
give him, my man.
you will follow the order today. You on spoon talk. Nobody hearing you. Stop talking. Stop talking. Nobody hearing you. Stop talking. So let me say this. I don't like to do this, guys. But when Isaac Johnson come on the show, right? And he come to say, oh, Stanton, they say you stole money, Alpha Diga. Some of the money that he's saying that they say I stole, he want to bring up today, is some of the people then that I took care of. Okay? He's one of those that I took care of. I'm not lying. He got stranded. I cashed out the brother. I helped him to find a place to stay. That he will come on the show today and says, and he left the conversation though, and he said, oh, Stanton, because you stole, you cannot lie. How dare he? That I gave him money. He wanted to go to Liberia, Mr. Cummings. How dare he that I helped him with transportation to go to Liberia, Mr. Cummings. We went to Minnesota, and everybody that was in that room, you know who else was it? It was this girl, Robina. She cooked the pepper soup. This brother was there. I had to go in my car and take money and give it to the brother. You had all this garden. Ben Semby, Tomani George, Peabody, and everybody that came to see your Robina. This brother traveled under the coal. Under the coal he traveled. And he came. And I went. And I gave him money. The text messages are here. This thing, I don't like to say it. If we're having a conversation, let's have the conversation. You don't come and have a conversation and say you attack me because I say you don't fit under Mr. Cummings' tent.
But the man keep attacking all.
I don't know.
I said Johnson for you.
I said Johnson right there.
Let me say you, January 13, the man been behind me. So I said, where are you, Isaac? He said, I'm in Minnesota. I will be flying to Liberia. I need your assistance. January 13, okay? These are the messages. I will sit down and get auto drinks and put it up, let people see it. When this brother begged me that he's stranded in Minnesota, and I take my money and give it to him. When I went to Minnesota, we're drinking that soup in Robina home, and I took money. I came outside. He put his hand around me. I took money, I gave it to him. I don't like to do this.
Stanton, I think we all believe you. You don't
Thank
need
you, Rami Gray. I hate when people being ungrateful. If you want to come after my character, and you have tested the salt and the pepper, and you want to come on the spoon talk, come on, man.
You know,
don't disgrace yourself.
I think
guys.
I think
you know, when you come down, go ahead.
Firstly, I don't even know
I will bring on and you can't say.
I don't even know how you took over the moderation today, man. You
So, Isaac Jackson disappeared in thin air. He never returned. And the conversation went on to where Spoon then wrote the text messages and so forth. What do you make up of what happened, Moses? And folks, come in here. Let us know your perspective.
Yeah. And we'd like for our people to join us in this discussion. You know.
So let me just post the number. People can
they can call.
I think you know a lot of folks would like to participate. So the number to call 404-272-2808 is posted right there. Look below the screen, 404-272-2808. Share with us your perspective. Is Spoon wrong for doing what he did, and whether Isaac, on the other hand, is right for doing what he did? Let's hear from you.
Yeah, I would like to begin by saying that I say Jackson, the former permanent representative to United Kingdom on the maritime program, you know, he's an ingrate. He's an ingrate. Yes, I say he's an ingrate because Volcano, when you are down and you reach out to a friend, and that friend steps up to the place, when the friend is faced with a crisis, You don't throw their situation in their face. Many people who know me will agree that when Stanton had this problem, I was the first to raise the red flag. I said, Mr. Spoon, you need to step aside because your name has become toxic. Recuse yourself from the show. And I still maintain that. But what happened last week? Isaac Jackson was wrong. The man said he didn't say he did not make a definitive statement. He said, I heard that you went to Liberia, and the comment people said they did not want you. All he needed to do was to say, look, Mr. Witherspoon, unfortunately, the information that you gave is not true. There was no need to tell Witherspoon that was dishing out money to you on a consistent basis. And you saw how the guy disgracing the text messages, the WhatsApp receipt. So he cannot deny that. The guy disgracing, Mr. Witherspoon disgracing to the point that he became so embarrassed he went
Yourself here now.
and decided to do a own talk show. Okay? Now, Volcano, the point I'm trying to drive here is that he benefited from the man. If he had a problem with that, with the question the man asked, all you needed to do to speak to the question, but not to call the man a criminal. Yes, today the man is a criminal, but this is the same criminal that was feeding you and your family.
Alleged criminal, right?
Yeah, the man is an alleged criminal, but this man is the same alleged criminal that when you wanted to go to Liberia to be a part of the Cumming camp, you ran to him for help. My man, I won't go hustle. When you went to Minnesota and you needed to settle down, it was the same alleged criminal that you reached out to. You benefited. So if this man is being prosecuted today for the money that he gave you, because you also benefited. If you benefited from the alleged criminal money, then why throw this in the man's face? I think this one, I give it to Witherspoon. I would have done the same thing for Ghana.
So, furthermore, you says here, I think Spoon provoked Isaac by the way he initially asked the question. Now, Fergie, if you're listening here, the initial question was, I heard. I can call you Fergie and say, I heard, my man, you went to the military. My man, who told you? No, I'm going to no military. Whoever told you to lie.
Yeah, that's it.
And then thank God you didn't go to the military, or you now doing something else. You know, I heard you went Liberia. Who told you out in Liberia? Oh, that's what the people say. Who the people? In fact, don't scoop to those kind of lies. Maybe you should have said it that way.
Yeah.
Rather than, come back and say,
come and insult the man, call the man a criminal and all those kinds of things.
That and
when did you get to know that this man is a criminal? Is it now that the money is no longer coming like before? Volcano? You see how,
I look what Ahmad Freeman says here. It's a talk show. Always be prepared for any kind of question.
I agree. Always be prepared. So the man asked a very good question. All he needed to do was that Mr. Witherspoon, unfortunately, the information that they gave you is incorrect.
Yeah.
Given the kind of relationship that they had, when he needed help, he was calling Witherspoon. And the man was sending him money. Now the man came publicly and humiliated him, displayed the text messages, the cash I received. So Volcano, this is just a lesson to our many friends out there. If you are benefiting today and something comes out tomorrow on that person, be careful how you go about talking about it. Because when that person flip on you, you won't believe it. Mr. Jackson was humiliated. Like we say in Liberia, like we always say in Liberia, the man gave it from the show. He was embarrassed. Let me give it to you.
So, Shaki McAfee is saying here that according to the laws in America, if Spoon goes down for his alleged crimes, Mr. Jackson could be held liable as well and sued as being a receiver of stolen money. and that's
it could be, yeah.
That's an absolute. I got a caller calling here from a New York number 0660.
Yeah.
Caller. Caller, welcome to the Issues Room. Your name? Hello, caller. Are you there?
Yeah, hi, panelists or host. My name is Sarah Snake. Thank you for bringing the show, and I must admit that you guys are doing pretty well.
Thank you. Thank you.
I just want to chime in on the issues. I think probably the Jacksons, the Samuel Jackson and the Asset Jackson, I think, in my own opinion, that there are no difference. They have no morals. They have no values that they aspire for. So they sell their integrity for little or nothing. Coming to the issue, just before the Samuel Jackson could go Monrovia, he was on his own platform.
You mean Isaac Jackson? Let's correct it. You have Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson, yeah.
No, he's making reference to Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson was laughing at the government.
The other old Samuel, the old man.
Yeah, now the other old Samuel.
Okay.
So they are relatives.
One of them are Pastor boy.
Yeah. Besides
that guy you there.
I think they are cousins or so.
Okay.
According to them, the one day they appear on Spoon Toy and were putting their own jiriba also.
Okay.
So only to find out that he had to go to the very government he was criticizing to beg, for bread. When they gave him the bread, he closed the mouth, he became a quote-unquote spokesman. It's the same guy, how dare you take money from someone, beg somebody, give you money, and you go on a public broadcast show to answer a simple question, you start to, throw insult, and all kind of things. So they don't have that moral, they don't have that self-value, that self-awareness. He just used, a lot of jargons, educational jargons, maybe for your own aggrandizement. But, I sure he doesn't even have the fish to fry in Liberia again, because no one is definitely going to trust him. He has damaged his own character and his own reputation.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the show.
Thank you, my brother. Share the link, invite others to join us here. We look forward to building a credible conversation here in the Issues Room. But listen, Moses, everybody going down. Spoon said, if I'm going down, you're going down to that thing.
My man.
You think that one man army thing, yeah?
My man, I stand with Spoon. This one I stand with Spoon, Volcano. The man was right.
And you know what's gonna happen? All the men that ate from Spoon out, they'll be damn careful. I'll open them up to talk. And
you gotta make all the cash I received though.
All right. So let me bring the right, oh man. Get the cash I received, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, right there. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Display.
Right now, we are family of 5, and so I would sincerely appreciate any Minnesota along with my family. I know Aaron say I'm a Lego, but Aaron, sometimes it's good for us to just say it. I won't let the people say, Fadika, please hold on. This is Asa Jackson. Just arrived in the USA. I'm in Minnesota along with my family. We are family of 5, and so I would sincerely appreciate any assistance.
You know what's intriguing, and Dr. Richardson, I know that sometimes we got to be smart. We allow our personality to influence the screen.
Mhm.
Dr. Richardson is so
Yeah.
mad here that this,
She's so upset. Yeah.
and if she's that uncomfortable, go behind the scene.
Yeah, she should have
Remove
been off the
yourself.
stage. Yeah.
Yes, it didn't look well for her. A learned woman, someone who is admired. I mean, the disagreement. I don't think she's that disagreeable with.
Unfortunately, she's a psychologist and she's
Yeah,
conducting herself like that. You
yeah.
know?
I don't think
Yeah.
she's disagreeable with Spoon or
Mhm.
with Isaac. It's just the fact that it's uncomfortable the
Yeah.
exchange here tonight. But remove yourself. Just go behind the scene. You did for the first time, and it just looks so mean here. But let's
Assisted him at helping us. Okay, that's Isaac Jackson. The next time he reached out to me and said, I said, how you doing? He said, not too bad, brother. God has been good to us. I just arrived in your town and looking forward for a professional hookup, brother. USA or Liberia. I asked him, just arrived in USA. I'm in Minnesota along with my family. And I just read that we are family of 5, and so I would sincerely appreciate any assistance in at helping us to start in the USA. That's Axel Jackson. These people go up and say nonsense about me. They go out and run their mouth, and they come. I fed them. I clothed them. I took care of them. But these are the same very hypocrite people there saying the nonsense they supposed to say. They have eaten the salt. They have eaten the pepper, Daniel, and they are here saying yes about me. Now, I will read them all. And it's important to do that. I don't like to do this, but I'll do this. And I asked him, do you have Cash App? Let me pull that one up first before, okay. That's what he said. I said, do you have Cash App? Need to send you something. Daniel Sanders, you saying it? He said, yes.
I've seen it.
My host,
So let's stop there. You saw her shaking her head.
Yeah.
You saw her like,
She was in disbelief. Yeah.
what am I going through here tonight?
Mhm.
Dr. Francine, this is something that we learned in television broadcasting. They think you're jumpy, you call yourself TV, you even got TV, and you're jump on
Oh,
these.
yeah, that woman ever came closer to our studio.
Yeah, I'm just saying for the professional etiquette of what we do. If whenever you're comfortable, remove yourself,
Yes, sir,
mute your mic, I'd rather do the little things.
yeah.
But you can't be here frowned, shaking your head.
Uh,
It doesn't augur well for the camera. That's
right,
what I'm
that's
saying.
it, yeah.
And it's a learning, curve here to
my host has a Cash App, and I would definitely get it through to you. I love to be quiet because I don't like to talk about people, bro. I've gone above and beyond. But when being a hypocrite, we gotta show them out. He said, my host has a Cash App, and I would definitely send it to you. That's what he said. He said, thanks in advance, my dear brother, Sisi Goya. Is this the name? He said, yes, sir. What you see on there, that 1,500 to Sisi Goya? Yes, the whole thing, yeah? The money that I sent to Sisi Goya. Okay? Right there.
It.
And what did he say? Brother, I remain eternally grateful. Thank you so very much. I sent this hypocrite, the loud mouth of a lawyer, who I still consider as my friend today. He's still my friend. I would never, and after the show, I will call him. I sent 1,005. This is Cash App. The records are there. CC Goya, payment. Go at Goya, you know anything. August 9, 2021 at 5:07
p.m.
The brother didn't stay there. He didn't stay there. He continued to ask me for money. It was Ben Senvi, Tumani George, Dr. Peabody, every one of us who went to Minnesota. Well, at Robina House, you always hear me talking about this wonderful dry pepper soup when I'm laughing at Robina.
All right, I think that's enough of it. We've seen the evidence. We had a conversation, but Moses, let's wrap up on this minute or so we can go to our last segment.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you make of this? Quick.
Yeah, I mean, friendship should not be about when you are benefiting. Friendship should be a lasting relationship. Even in tough times, the person is still your friend. Not only in good times. That's the message that I would like to convey to all of our friends out there. That if you are with Moses Sandy today, when he's going down, Moses Sandy is still your friend. Don't know Moses Sandy only when you can stop by and the two of you sit together and eat. I don't know. What do you think, Volcano?
I mean, it's just the fact, and all of the people who enjoyed from Stanton. Let's talk so. The boy
Yeah.
got his money however he got it. We don't know yet until everything
Mhm.
is.
Mhm.
But at least his generosity was incalculable.
Yeah.
He did
Yep,
so
a
much
lot
for
of-
a lot of people.
Mhm.
All right, they got a man who stealing right in Liberia. They can't even send one person to school. They can't even pay somebody's school fee. It's all about themselves. Here's a man who gave him back. And now, until we get to the end of all of this, I would say that Isaac Jackson went too far. Again, he wanted to display that he was learned. He wanted to display that he thinks he understands argumentation, the conversation, the laws, and all of that. And I thought he made a big mistake by doing that. Stanton didn't have to speak big English. He just threw the
Very
evidence
simple.
out there and simplify him. And that the man give it. And, you know,
The man gave him, man. The man could not stand on him, man.
give it. They can't their own private podcast. We stay basing the argument on whether the man sent him money to London. Forget about the London thing. Did the man give you money? Are you in agreement that the man gave you money? That answer the question.
Yeah, you send the man a message, say you got it 1G
Yeah.
500.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where. He keeps making the argument. Oh, the man gave me no money in London. No. Did he give you money in America? Did he give you money in Monrovia? Did he give you money anywhere? Just answer the question.
Did you send a man text message, Baggy?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that a lot of folks are Frederick Monyu, I understand your position, but you know, you're right. But what did Robin Hood do? The famous Robin Hood, he was taken from the rich and gave it to the poor.
Yeah.
So maybe Stanton is a Robin Hood until he's brought down with a judgment. I say, hey, my man, this is the truth. You got to now. You see, you got to go to jail for what you committed.
Yeah.
Well, since it's time for Memory Lane, we'd like to welcome all of you to this segment. Memory Lane is a segment that Dr. Manin Sumo presents to us. And when I say us, all of us. And so I go solo to present this. The Memory Lane title here tonight is Knowledge versus Ignorance, a leader or a spectator dilemma in Liberia. Memory Lane is pleased to join the issues room to ask the golden question: what type of country is this? It's true that Liberia needs a leader who has the knowledge of the true needs of the people of Liberia. Now, it's again a leader who has the knowledge of the true needs to know the plight of the people of Liberia. But today we have spectators as leaders of Liberia. We call them political spectators who have watched past corrupt governments and choose to propagate the same but wearing different clothing. And this is why. Let me run my mouth small. Well, by me, and I'll let PTO, please don't talk or tackle me. Yeah. And that's the Liberian parlance.
Yeah.
I was in a conversation recently with a district representative aspirant in the upcoming Liberia election. So I asked, which part of the geopolitical map of Liberia are you aspiring to represent? The answer, my man, and I tell you, I say a geographic teacher. That the aspirant answering. Why are you asking me about geography? Really, I shrug with dismay and a great feeling of sorrow for the country. But we at Memory Lane are obligated to share knowledge of truth. So to our aspirants, Liberia is divided into 15 first level administrative divisions we call counties, which in turn are subdivided into total of 92nd level administrative divisions we called districts, and further divided into third level administrative divisions we call clans. Dana geography bene here, the knowledge of the job you want to do, yeah. Liberian people, you open your eyes and see who's sitting in positions of governance and see who's coming in. They are knocking on your doors. Please make sure you ask them the right questions and they should give you the right answers before you open your door. They are all but spectators, imitating the old corrupt order that got us all to be old but poor. By Nemo, but there are reasons our children do not know the difference between A-R-E, and capital single I. They cannot write a fitting paragraph. Life expectancy in Liberia is the worst on the World Index. Your door is your vote. Your vote is your voice. Be wise. A coming peace. He says the next time we be here, we'll look at mumble time. So what he's saying here, Moses, is that he asked the guy, whose geographical location? And the guy said that geography been he gonna tell me. So the man already coming into the house and doesn't even know where he's gonna be running or what is the characterization of the locale that he's running, whether it's a district, a clan, or whatever.
He doesn't care about it.
Yeah, so all he know he want to run and he want to be representative.
Yeah.
As we now begin, I didn't get to cue in the what type of country. We're already out of time. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready. What type of country is this? What type of country is this? That you have Prince Johnson, who is a sinner, a big one, even though he says he's repented. But the man don't call a pastor. The man say he pastor, but he doesn't call a pastor. He indicated that in his sermon, he had the first portion that he would do all the political discussion. Then he would come to the second portion and do the preaching.
The typical Liberian thing
of pastor is this.
Whatever country. Whatever country is this? When Alexander Cumming name his fixer two. A fixer two uses the time to talk about her relationship with her boyfriend. I know the ANC people just say, but I don't want more wasting our time here for.
So wait a minute. Did they? So nobody scrutinized the woman's speech. They allow her because she's wanted
She said, I met my husband, my boyfriend a few years ago when he decided to engage me. He went to the graveyard to ask my papa.
To ask the for blessing.
Whatever country is now the VPO.
Seeking what do you call it? Agreement
of
blessing from the dead.
Yeah, her deceased father.
And what was the relevance to all of this?
Because she
like I said, it's the small story you tell, but you got to understand your audience. People who, and that is why some of us are where we are today. Moses, for me who handle microphone all my life, you have to know your audience.
Definitely,
you do. A speech, and you get to that audience. It's not necessary to deliver that speech.
Yeah.
If the audience does not match your speech, probably do bullets and go extemporaneous.
Yeah.
And speak from the mind. But when you want to still force that speech to the wrong audience, that's what you get.
And Volcano, you know the Basel people will say, I can't. We should call Charles, then the other Basel people say, I can't, Charlie.
Again.
I know Mr. Cumming was saying, I can't about our brother myself.
Not do
Our brother, oh my, I spent all my money. She can't tell me about her boyfriend.
what a dating app? Where to go? What I think?
And now the dating app.
What TV?
You know what to get there, go there to look for the man.
What kind of harmony it used to be on television? What kind of country is this that other political parties are calling for war crimes court because Prince Johnson don't support them? What type of country is this?
Whatever country they were Prince Johnson is support you today, the men are enemy.
So let's set the stage. What type of country is this?
Yeah.
Isaac Jackson, the man dressed up so well. He got a bow tie on. I mean, his tie rather, all got the pleat.
Yeah. The man is a classified beggar.
Yeah. The man is a classified beggar. The lawyer a classified beggar.
Classified beggar.
And he called him a certified liar.
A rogue. Yes, the man's a certified a liar. So we be classified beggar.
He's a classified beggar. Well, I mean, Isaac Jackson is a classified beggar.
Whatever country is there, the former marital, I mean the former representative to the marital program has turned to a classified beggar. They made us send text messages. We are here, my brother, my man. I'm here with a family of 5. What you can do to anything you can do for me to help your people settle down. They meant to you to make all those children. Telling the man I am to say that I meant to you to go make all those children, my man. We are here, a family of 5.
Why you say we'll come back? Why you say what type of country is this where you see the same people every day at political rally? All of them, they just coming from one rally to the next.
Anything a serious business, my man.
Mizola Gesi, welcome, my brother, welcome.
Yeah, Mizola, welcome, my brother.
What country is this? Shaggy McAfee, that Isaac Jackson made himself look like a clown. He got his degree in begging.
They got PhD.
He may not need a PhD too. What type of country is this where people are going to and from work, but they're calling you in America for transportation?
Hey, Thomas. Oh, in fact, you don't forget. Don't forget. Let me say that. When La Presse is interesting society.
What type of country is this? Let me quick.
Yeah.
Hashtag that you begging the man for money, and as soon as you get on top, you start stepping on him.
Yeah, he starts stepping on the man. He start calling the man role, right? So Volcano, you remember the other day we had Dr. Nelson from the University of Liberia.
Yeah.
And the man he painted a roasted picture of situation at the university. On Sunday, the University Faculty Association, the issue of press release, they said January they are not taking me.
Can you imagine? We try to push it in the corner and say our making up story and blah blah blah. And you see what bothers me is that the Bureau act as if to say the information and the things that are happening are insulated in an envelope.
Yeah.
They are only the ones with the envelope of all the problems in the country, so they know it.
Yeah.
What they fail to realize, even the people within government is giving out information.
Of course, my man.
Incredible information as well. So when they come here and try to make it seem as though everything people are seeing is lies, it's just unfortunate. So Isaac Jackson comes here, shows up his verbosity, showing that he knows words, showing that he understands philosophy of the time, referencing Henry Burma formula, the towering, philosopher of our time in Liberia. Oh yeah, you spoon, Witherspoon. How can you dare say that I am not wanted in Liberian politics? I am everybody sought after Isaac Jackson. You are a you are a criminal, and everything you're saying a lie. Hey man, I knew they're coming to call you a certified beggar. That's what he said.
Witherspoon just went into a little closet. He said, "I'm coming." He drew the front text message.
He pushed the button. We saw it. Oh,
The
yeah,
next year,
it's not easy. No food on the table. We are a family of
a
five.
family of 5. So Witherspoon said, "Oh, but my man, wait now. When you are making your babies."
The other one was pregnant, Lapa.
Otherwise, yeah, family of 5. You made 3 babies, then you telling me.
I gotta see all of y'all. All right, send your family of 5. Get the first one G5.
1 G5. Everybody take 3 boys, 3 boys.
Shaggy McCaffrey say, if you're calling me a rogue, you ate the money I allegedly stole, and you come online talking about it. That makes you a rogue as well.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, my man. Witherspoon rather stood up for himself. Oh. It's so laughable, man.
Well, Master Johnson Master Washington, Massa has her
Yeah.
point. She says that it is absolutely tasteless rather, that people will publicize, make mockery of, and degrade people they have assisted. All of us at one point or time in our lives or the other were assisted by other people. And we have also assisted people as well. So what is this trend that a person should lose their dignity because somebody helped them? I make cash donations, contributions, and give people a support all the time who need the assistance. Nobody ever heard about it. In fact, I tell people to please don't publicize my support. But Masa, let's come
I
there.
disagree with my sister.
No, I come in now. Maybe she didn't. She was not with us in the
Oh,
conversation.
okay, yeah.
So that's why I like to make the clarification.
Mhm.
So, Masa, all of this stuff you talked about and the things you've done for people, if you were in trouble tomorrow and those people come and trample on you,
Yeah.
where
Call
you
you
have
rogue.
where you have only been accused of stealing the gains that you were sharing out there, you only been accused, and you are in a society where the accused is not guilty until found guilty through a court of competent jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Then people now start insulting you, and the man who had eaten your salt and pepper, as Spoon
Yeah.
said.
Yeah,
How
comes
will
and
you,
call you a rogue.
Pastor, how will you feel? So that's the conversation we're having here tonight. Isaac Jackson went overboard, and Spoon had to put him in his place because he was not a saint. He begged for this same criminal money, as alleged that Spoon is a criminal. So probably that's where we're coming from, and that's where Spoon came from, to say, how
Yeah.
dare you call me a criminal when you have benefited from the steals from what I stole, and
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Shared with you. How dare you call me that?
You call me a rogue. And
So let's go.
and Volcano, let me just tell my sister Masa, just flip the ball around. You Masa Washington, you my sister. You've been very nice to me. And something goes wrong. I go publicly and say, Masa, you are a rogue. Then he said, Moses, have you forgotten that the other day you told me say your vehicle broke down and I sent you $100 to take the vehicle to be repaired? Have you forgotten when you told me that your mortgage was late and I had to help you with another $500? Master, you will be absolutely right, because when I say that about you, I am being ungrateful. You don't do that.
And not everything we need to put our mouth.
Yeah.
You know, if you say that Spoon is your friend and a brother, as
Yeah.
a conversation, how you will be forever grateful.
In your own message, oh.
Why come on a live podcast and just quickly go to the man being a criminal only because he asked you a question that he claimed to have heard.
Yeah.
All you needed to do as a professional lawyer is to just dispel the notion of what the man heard, because he didn't come straight up and say, "Oh, my man, I know you went Liberia." Yes, first-hand information.
Yeah.
You were thrown
Yes, I heard it.
Yeah. So that's where this conversation is going. But let's not dwell on the Moses. Let's take the last quick
Mhm.
and then we'll start to wrap up here tonight.
Yeah, that's
What type
true.
of country is this, Rams Northern? So old like Titanic, with all the big mouth politicians, none of them inviting a man or woman of God on board. Land that was born under faith sound like Liberia mean we lie too much. Even guys on this show, y'all seek the counsel of churches and let's hear them. Is the brown envelopes story true? We want to know. We laugh today, but where do we stand in the world? Best soccer player turned to the artist, a pastor. Che, we said drug talent again. I pray CIA done. Winner. Rams not my man. So that when you do this thing, then it can make myself say I can read. I speak illiterate.
You find it difficult, eh?
Make it make me illiterate, my man. What country is this?
Yeah.
We have a podcast viewer who writes and he makes the host feel illiterate.
Jamie. He said, damn, my man, the man hit you out.
Why am I reading
Yeah.
that? I'm a second even process. Come on,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, it's struggling to
To
get a message across, but
suffering me here today. You made me feel illiterate, man. Damn, like where my degrees then go, my school and all my years of study. All right, but Moses,
yeah.
so let's wrap it up here.
Man, great show, man.
Isaac Jackson,
Yeah.
the bastard got you. The man can carry on too much.
Yeah.
So when Spoon told him, I will soak you, the man disappeared.
The man give it.
The man gave it. What the man went with this? Somebody went with
The man gave it when he set up his own podcast, but he forget to know that a podcast cannot even go beyond 20%. We got what else for the man got over 3 or 4 radio stations. The thing is going
You know
nationwide.
you know the interesting thing? The man
Yeah.
did not even go to start a podcast where he
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
His own podcast in the same close.
In this is
Instead of changing to slightly he look different, maybe the people will not be, people will be like confused. The man So he wanted to dispel what Spoon said.
Yes,
How do
about
you
him.
dispel that?
Yeah,
You
you
keep
know.
basing the argument on whether the man gave you money in London. That's not the issue. Did the man ever give you somebody money?
Yeah.
The man
Did you ever send a mail text message?
But it means to be loyal who understands arguments.
Yeah.
And the lawyer should build his case.
Of
You don't just
course.
go to the court irresponsible.
Yeah,
You
talk
got to go with
loosely.
your dossier of all of the evidence and whether you in the defense or prosecution. No
Yeah.
matter what role you play in the court, you got to be prepared. Or Isaac Jackson comes to the show ill prepared, just thinks that everything in his head should be said, and that's what happened to him that night. He talked to Daniel Sando. He carried on Alpha Diga, and just blew
Oh,
up.
but man, where he started throwing rocket at all the boys.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know, that was very bad.
Show his
Yeah.
prowess, his educational prowess.
But at least one thing that he has done for himself is that he has earned for himself a very strong adjective, you know, certified beggar. That's my description of it. The former permanent representative attend to certified beggar in America. Forget the man, the former representative tender, the former permanent representative to the maritime program.
So, when we got a lot here, let me read them quick.
Yeah.
What type of country is this? Let me post it quick. Where you don't get paid for 6 months, but you still go to work every day. Emmanuel Jackson, what type of country is this? The city mayor called a press conference, starts a training for militant, battle cry, and revolutionary slogans. Then asked the militants to limit the battle cry for the press conference. What type of country is this? Mizola Gizi uh, has added a very nice flavor to the platform. Thanks to all of those who are making their contribution, especially Brother Thomas Awaji. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Mazuran.
Uncle, you can't sit on my shoulder and say that my hair is sting.
Of course.
Definitely I'll throw you down, and that's not
You're absolutely right.
what type of country is this? Shaki McAfee, that Isaac Jackson thought he had locked all his doors and started throwing punches, but forgot to lock the windows. Now he's confused how the family of five came out. Technical knockout. That's what he experienced.
The one that make you.
Yeah, Samira Pratt, when he gave the man the money, that was in 2021 when he wasn't charged.
Okay.
He's just trying to make a point here. So
Yeah. So we agree. Say mean that because it happened 2021, they mean that you should call the man rogue today.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Flomo Livingstone, what type of country is this that the VB Joel Tiller went to Lofa County telling them if they want development, they should vote for CDC? Rand Snowden comes back again. What type of country is this? Don't even know election will go on. No safety, no electricity. Who they trust to protect those ballot boxes? Because the ballot boxes will be in the dark. Theophilus says here that guy is shameless. Only ANC partisans will back him. My man said, "Well, I give you a pair of glasses."
Okay, all right.
Okay. Says, what type of country is this? That Stanton Witherspoon 100, Isaac Jackson 0. The fight is before it even got started. Washington comes back again. She say, "You stop trying to normalize the abnormalities." Among any serious group of people, Stanton will not continue to be within public service. Indictments are a step up from mere allegations. These is not Liberian people type of allegation. Same crazy argument people are making for Prince Johnson today. Liberians always found justification for why we conduct business abnormally. But Master, let's assume here that this is an American situation. Stanton has lawyers, Stanton has parole officer, all of those people. If they feel what he's doing with his platform has no interference in the investigation and they gave him the go ahead, so be it. If you all feel that he's shameless and should recluse himself, go away and hide in his closet and cry for his sin, then I think he feels that while you think that I am guilty already, I'm sure that I'm not guilty. I will go about my normal life. I will live my normal life until the rule of law takes its course. And if I'm found guilty and I'm sentenced, then at that point I can remove myself. What's this? What you think?
Yeah, look quickly. Just to say something on that. Volcano, like I said before, if I were in the position of Witherspoon, by now I would have recused myself long time. I will not be on any platform because this is a serious offense. Like we always say, the media is the message. You can't be bringing politicians, you delve into politics, you delve into the issues of corruption, and the man who is asking the question is being pulled for alleged crime. That just defeats the whole purpose, right? So if I were in that position today, I would have gone behind the scene and just focus on my legal issue. But again, maybe this could be therapeutic for Mr. Witherspoon. You say, you know what? When I isolate myself, I will get depressed further. I will continue to do what I do while this matter is being probed. And we all know this is the United States. This is not Liberia. this matter is going to go to the bottom. If he walks away, fine. If he doesn't, then he will serve his term, you know. But even with that, it is wrong for anyone who benefited from this man to call you a criminal. No. What Isaac did was very, very wrong. It's the still stolen money that he benefited from. Alleged stolen money that he benefited from. So if it was good before, it is still good now. You shouldn't come here and play double standard. You turn around, you beg the man behind the door. Then when something comes out, you call the man rogue and we should take side with you. No, Volcano, no. I say it's in the wrong.
Well, I guess you balance it out here. So I think Masa, the thing that Moses is saying is left with a Spoon. Maybe he's doing this because he doesn't want to be in isolation. And if it's not, if he's not barred from doing it by his legal team and to say, go about your life, go ahead. We got you. We're doing what we got to do. Parole officer is saying, hey, man, listen, you're not infringing on the American people's right. We don't think you're stealing any further. You cease to steal right now. If that be the case, then that's it. And let the man go about live his life. If he trusts that his character is in question, but it's not until he's proven guilty for it, and he wants to live his life, so be it. I have never had my problem with Spoon or anything. I think there are people who've done worse things in the world today, and they're still enjoying those privileges and stuff. So I'm not normalizing, or particularly me, I would say, not normalizing anything. The man is not guilty yet, and let's take it as is. He still has the right to live and live to the fullest. He still has the right to self-determination, like you always say, Moses. He still has the right to everything that he's entitled to, until that freedom is taken away from him, where he becomes incarcerated and the light switch goes off by the jailer and the light switch comes on
go to bed.
Yeah, until he eats 3 meals a day that's being served, refrigerator to go in and all of that. Let the man live his life, and that's my position.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we want to thank all of you for joining us here tonight. The Issues Room, 157th broadcast. We'll be back here on Friday, God's willing. Moses, life is short. We can only pray to God for continued blessings and good health and everything. We can't go through the roster here tonight, but everyone who showed up, particularly some of the newcomers here, we saw Daniel Sando in the house, Theophilus Jibwe. We saw Joseph Cockrow. We also saw, what's the guy's name? I saw somebody here just now. We saw Samira Pratt. Bizola Gizi, of course, he showed up here. Gosh, this stuff moves so fast. Anyway, we also saw Sarah Snare, Debbie Sarah Snare, Blatte Snare, just all of you who just showed up here. Suku Arachie, and I think the bishop, right? Do you know Suku Chie? He's a bishop.
The name sounds familiar.
We say thank you, sir, for joining us here. Right? Keep us in your prayer. Yvonne Ayo, it was good seeing you. And of course, our regular Thomas Awaji, Frederick Emmanuel Jackson, Flomo Livingstone, G. Gwen John Smith, Mane Sumo, River Says Pro stopped by in the house tonight. We say, welcome back, my brother. Edith Mack.
Wow.
Yeah, Ahmad Freeman, Thomas Awaji, George Bannerman II, my good friend and brother. Welcome to the show. It was good seeing you. Ram Snutton, all of you guys who joined us here tonight. It was good seeing you. Of course, Maria Gardell, you were in the house. Oh, let me not forget Adiaha Umo, always from Australia, who puts in the time. Mapu Hall, Alexander Boniface, Emmanuel Hayes. Thank you so much for continue to be here with us. Shaggy McAfee, Jai Eddie, S. Edward Nefor. It was just good to see all of you folks here tonight with us in the house. Samira Pratt, good to see you. Come back again. uh, you know, make this platform a place to be. Raymond Clark, Jemima, Jaman Cisco was also here with us. We say thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you who came through. Jatu Sia Morris, it was good seeing you as well. We can't just do it for everyone, but all of you will say thank you. And it's a good night from our end. It was a long broadcast, but it was necessary. But God's grace will be back here Friday. Moses, good night.
Thank you, Volcano. It was a pleasure. Enjoy, my man.
Uh,
We'll look forward to be back on Friday. Great
Moses,
show.
my man, we got to go now.